Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are across the world. Welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport for the final time of the Pro-Am season. We are home. It is Donington Park. It is the Donington Decider. But there's only one championship up for grabs. That is the Bronze Championship here this afternoon after Wolski and Greasy Bandits Racing both took the team's titles last time out. Who will take that that Bronze Championship tonight? Mathew Duffinand joined in the commentary box by Wellington, Jimenez here. And it is a battle between Simcoe and Krupeljan. And Beefy, tonight, with a little bit of rain forecast potentially, is going to be exciting.
Yeah, Donington's always one of those kind of hidden but exciting tracks. Almost every single race that I've ever seen here, at least in terms of esports, is always extremely exciting.
And I say a little bit of rain around. I forgot that you guys can't actually see the broadcast screen at the moment. I haven't yet changed it over. There's rain in 10 minutes in the practice session. Let's not hope that's the only rain we get, but it could be a wet qualifying out there for everybody in the virtual grandstand. Welcome along. I will quickly run through the championship standings before we head over to the live screens. It is Wolski on pole, who is your silver champion in the Pro-Am. Stardog is second place, but yet to be confirmed. We'll confirm them positions tonight. Sam Greaves is currently third from Mirko Ricci, Johnson from Bettison, Coates from Craig, Cherrymore, Gabino, Alcapara, Flores, Millington, Hunt, Popovic, De Block, Juarez, Cummins, Peckman, Taylor, Clarbel, Dronelander, Argent, Sturrock, Murray, Gluhack, and Nuke Waste. In the Bronze Championship, like we said, Simcoe versus Krupeljan. 97 points is the difference. That is a huge amount of points that Krupeljan needs to pull back here. Stapley is third place with Rob Smith in fourth. Rob Smith could end up in the top three of bronze tonight. I'd love that based off of what he's gone through at the beginning of this season, so I'd really love that to be the case. Sanchez is fifth from Petrovic, Privet from Malarex, Tucker, Broom, Kwarchik. Then it's Doosan, White, Bardi, Dog, Lee, Stanek, Williams and Hughes. In the team's championship, we already know that Greasy Bandits Racing have taken the crown there. Black and Blue, second place, just ahead of 4Q Motorsport. KSR, fourth from Hulkanios Motorsport. Vanguard Race Team ahead of Team Merlot. ACC Maniac, SimPlay Racing, Team GBR, FRL Racing Team. BSH Spinners, ACC Venom Racing, Forever Forward Racing, and then Trotters Independent. This is going to be, Wellington, Beef, Jimenez, the main man. One heck of a night tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They have an extra 30 minutes to, I guess, I don't want to say bite their time, but extra 30 minutes to try and make some moves. But depending on how exciting Pro-Am is tonight, that means that Pro is only going to be twice as exciting.
Indeed it does. So let's see what will happen as one of the drivers just returned to the pits. We're on board with Doosan. You can currently see the leaderboard out there on the circuit. And Beef, it's always a sad time when the end of the season comes around, isn't it? Because you just get that feeling, oh, we've just got to wait for some racing. But no, we only have a week off or 2 weeks off, and then LMU is back. So it's all good, Beef.
Well, yeah, and LMU keeps releasing more hot fixes, so that has me a little bit scared. Especially when it came to the Wi-Fi update. So, I mean, feels like with LMU it's about one step forward and about 300 back. But I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Good features. Good new features. Gotta say. You gotta love it.
Taking my line.
I've adopted your line. I bet you're more than welcome to keep using it if you want to, Beef, especially while you're on the comms. And this could be your last time in the Pro-Am's comms box. We might hopefully see you in the Pros comms box with me next season, but this could be your last night in the Pro-Am's comms box.
Yeah, getting a promotion with Wolski. Love that.
Could be a pay rise. No. Big shout out.
Just a pat on the back and a firm handshake. Yeah, maybe a bit of pocket lint.
I'll give you a cuddle. We're going to start the program as always. The SimPlay Motorsport car, driven by Beef's brother, Ramsey Jimenez, a.k.a. Gordon himself.
Do you have a picture of it that you can put up on screen?
Oh, yeah. I could go and find that, actually. But I'll tell you what, we'll do that at the end of the night. I might just put that on at the end of the night for the end credits. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll find it during the break before the formation lap, Beef. How's about that one?
Right. Well, I feel like you also got to find Tanner's car. I'm very, very sorry for mentioning that.
We don't need to find.
Again.
We don't need to find Tanner's car. I'll see what I can do. But just want to give a massive shout out again to Ramsey Jimenez. The league by Fox Tech ended last night. Sadly, I won't be commentating with Tristan for a while now, and we missed the league by Fox Tech, a great league, great organisation to be a part of. But the SimPlay Motorsport sponsored car of Ramsey Jimenez. Third podium in a row. Great job at the St. Petersburg circuit last night. Was great to see. And the rumour spreading around the mill at the moment is that, you know, the SimPlay racing car was here with Tanner Kneebone. There could be one of Bradley Duncan coming soon. And from what I heard, potentially another SimPlay racing car of yourself possibly being on the grid.
Yeah, we'll figure it out depending on how the schedule is. If it's a good schedule, I might do it. If it's kind of a dull schedule, I might sit back. But really, I'm not that quick on iRacing's GT3, so I'll use myself as a pick, at least for Ramsey and maybe Tanner, to allow them to score as many points as possible.
Is your brother listening tonight at the minute? Where is he?
I don't know. He's feeling a little bit ill at the moment, so he might be just in his bed.
Well, Gordon, Ramsey, if you are listening, congratulations last night. One heck of a season. I believe it was P3 overall for you. In fact, I could probably look at their standings because they probably would have been updated today. But yeah, Ramsey, one heck of a season. You've done the sponsorship proud on the SimPlay car. Thank you very much for allowing us to sponsor you throughout the season. Ramsey finished, P5 overall. Oh, 4 points just behind Evan Davis. If he'd got that second place, he'd have probably finished ahead of Evan Davis in the championship. That's a shame. But one heck of a season from you, Ramsey. Really good job. You've done the SimPlay Motorsport sponsorship. Very, very proud indeed. But the racing action here, Michael Johnson is fastest on circuit at this moment in time. So looking pretty good is Michael Johnson out there at the moment. 3 tenths quicker than Cherry Moore and Richard Betterson. So two of them three. Oh, Simcoe just pops one up into third place. Two of the three I kind of expected at the top. I didn't expect that from Cherry Moore. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I saw that he had posted something on social media that he's kind of getting more in tune with the Mustang. May or may not have slid him a couple of things, but yeah.
What a guy. You're just a top bloke, you are, beef, aren't you?
I got my moments. Ramsey will beg to defer if he's watching.
Well. I've got your back, beef. You've commentated all season. You've led. You've joined me all season. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you this season. And for the virtual grandstand out there, as Cherry Moore just drops the rear coming through McLean's corner. For Cherry Moore out there, let's just, for everybody in the virtual grandstand, let's give Beef a big pat on the back this season because he's done some commentary in the past on other platforms, on bikes and other bits. So let's just give him a big applause on the job that Wellington has done this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. It's been an honour to have him in here, and I feel like the chemistry's got better and better each week. There is Gordon in the chat. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself, so if he's missed it, he's going to have to go back and watch it. The rain has fallen here at Donington Park. Yes, get on. It wouldn't be a Donington Park heading into the British Touring Car Week without it raining. That's how it works at Donington Park when the British touring cars are there. They're there this weekend. And it always seems to rain at some point of the day. It wouldn't be a touring car weekend without it. We've got rain. Guess what? The pros have no rain forecast for tomorrow. Shock horror.
IMSA is also scheduled to absolutely pour down. And, I feel bad for my cameras. Going to have to go through it.
That's the point. You're at VAR. I might be here. I'm here the week after. If you are at Donington Park, not this weekend, but the weekend after, come along. It's going to be a great weekend. We've got 5-hour endurance of Ford KAs going around the circuit. So if you are at Donington Park, not this weekend, the weekend after, come along. I'm in the commentary box. I'm on the telly doing the commentary as well for that weekend. So come along and watch some great racing. We've got Mazda MX-5s as well. They're going to be entertaining to watch around this circuit. But enough about everything else. It's SimPlay Motorsport time, Beef. For the final time this season. We've got Pro tomorrow, obviously, yet to come. We've got to see that happening. In which, the big news of the week as well, Wellington, somebody is unretiring for tomorrow's race.
Does his name start with Patrick and end with Leger?
It does indeed. Now, this doesn't mean he's not necessarily going to retire from the race when he's in it, but he's back. I did ask him today if he was back to join. I was going to say for him to join me and you in the commentary box because I was going to let him join both of us. He's not. He's back tomorrow afternoon, so he'll probably get back, get on his rig, and get tested. But Patrick Leger is back for tomorrow night, so that's great. Broers, Ams getting screwed completely by to the pros. Well, you know, I'm in your corner with that one, Gordon. I feel like that the pros should get some of the bad weather at times. I do know, and I will tell you this for a fact. Mike was holding out to see if it was going to rain because he wanted it to rain here tomorrow. And he held out as long as he could before he had to get the weather posted. So, yeah, sadly, it wasn't to be. But if this keeps up like this tonight, Wellington, this could provide... Me and Langley said it a few times last season on commentary. And we've not had that mixed condition qualifying yet. But we could get the bronze towards the front if it rains and for the silvers later on. It could be an epic qualifying to watch.
Yeah, I think the last mixed qualifying off the top of my head was the pros at Indianapolis last season.
I believe so, yeah.
Where all the gold had dry weather and all the platinums, it was pouring down.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time, off the top of my head.
I think you might be right there. I think you might be right. Charlie the Deer, I'm going to British GT next month. Very excited. Well, Charlie... If I get given that gig to do the commentary for the British GTs that weekend, I'll let you know. And, yeah, go and follow me on Instagram, Mathew Duffinand. Follow me on Instagram. Keep up to date with where I'm going to be, what circuit I'm going to be at, what weekend I'm going to be doing it. A lot more to come next year in terms of commentating at circuits. So keep your eyes out more next year. This year it's more just filling in for people who can't do roles. But if I do get the British GT gig, wow, that will be that'll be something. That'll be quite the day. I have to get beef.
I mean, if they're not hiring you, what are they doing? I think they're missing out.
I have to get you over the pond to come and commentate with me.
I just need a passport, so if you want to pay the few $100 for that.
Your brothers just want a bit of prize money.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He's all gonna put into computer parts.
He ought to put it into his
thing for
next season. For his entry fee for next season. 32 drivers on the grid at the minute. So let's see what happens out there. We're not going to see any improvements now, though. So if you look at where Wolski was before the rain, 1.1 seconds off the pace, he will probably be glad he got the championship won last week because the pace isn't quite there at the moment.
Yeah, but I feel like through almost every single practice session this season, Wolski's been kind of down the order at about 7/10 or whatever, and finds a way to put himself up in the top 5 and, well, score a podium, it seems, almost every single week.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that one. I think you're right. I think he struggled in practice, but then he's almost done the reverse Tanner Kneebone, who's had pace in practice and then can't qualify. So in the league by Fox Tecker. So yeah, Wolski is doing bits. Kieran Argent's got front end damage and was sideways coming down the crane of curves there. I thought he was going to absolutely slide into the rear. Oh, fun event coming your way, end of the season. Keep your eyes out for it being posted. What Argent's just done there is the sponsorship of that little special event series, the Argent 360. Keep yourself posted on that one. Kieran?
Potentially on iRenting or I Pay to Race Online with Other People.com.
Yep. .com. Yeah, we could be venturing into a little bit of iRacing just for some fun events, for some one-off events. No championships as planned yet, but we're planning on an Argent 360. For whatever reason. If you're a long-term follower of SimPlay Motorsport, you'll know that's because Kieran Argent likes to do a 360. Right then, Beef, the rain is here and here to stay in this qualifying session, and it's only going to get heavier. So the track is already wet. What are we going to expect? I hope this isn't all the rain now before the race. I hope we get a good mixed weather race, because that will provide some interesting strategy to see out there. Simcoe wasting very little time. He wants to be the first man out on the circuit. Oh, he's parked it in the pit lane, returns to the pit, so he will not be the first man out on the circuit. That will be the car probably best designed for that, the Boatley. The Bentley of Royden Stapley out on circuit, first of all, here at Donington Park. He's possibly going to be in the best situation here, or the best and worst, because he's going to find out where all the wet patches are, or the heavier wet patches are, first of all, but he's the first man out on the circuit, and if that rain's meant to increase as the session goes on, he's going to get the best of the conditions earlier.
Yeah, that, and he's not going to have to deal with as much spray. He has a huge gap to the 63 of Privet, but again, he just has clear track. He has nobody in his mirrors to worry about. I don't think that anybody else in SimPlay covers up the mirror with sticky notes. It might just be a me thing. But
What's on your sticky notes?
yeah, usually strategy, but I'll cover up the mirror so I don't have to see anybody. That's
Okay. Okay.
may or may not have been the deciding factor on how I won Mazzano, where I pieced out.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Here he goes again. Jeez. It's easy to win a race by 30 seconds when you're sandbagging your hot stint. Just ask Matt Wright. Whee! Here we go. Got to dig in. That wasn't a
Well,
dig
he's
at
in
you, that was
contention
dig
for
at
a
me.
championship.
Yeah.
He could finally go back up to platinum.
Yeah, and then he's going to pull out and go to LMU because he doesn't want to race platinum.
Yeah, in a
Crazy.
hypercar.
In a hypercar,
So,
yeah. At least you've got somebody to race that, I suppose, dude. Actually, you probably won't. You'll probably be well ahead of Matt Wright, to be fair to you.
Well, I'm gonna give it my all and teach Righty how to drive a hypercar in the next couple
Love
of
that.
weeks.
Love that. Love that from you.
Or I could just let him finish last every single race.
Give him a little bit of help.
I'm not gonna do that.
Give him a little bit of help, but not too much that he beats you. Do you know what I mean? I can send a picture from St. Pete if you want a picture. I've already got a picture, thank you. It was posted on Instagram by your team.
I'll give him a little bump draft as I go to lap him.
Oh,
That might be the best
Royden
situation.
Stapley gains onto the back of Duffinand there, who was very slow coming up towards the Schwantz curve. And, well, he's not going to be the first man on a lap anymore because he's gone off. It will be that then of championship protagonist Kruppeljan. Or as Beef says it, and I like the way you say it, Kruppeljan. I do quite like the way you say his name. It is good.
Only because I'm a southerner. But I think the Ferrari might be one of the easiest cars to drive here in the wet. Only because of its interesting traction control where you could run about TC 8, 9, 10 and still get a really, really good launch. Meanwhile, cars like the Ford Mustang kind of struggle on the traction control. What other cars? The BMW is about the same as well. It's
Kruppeljan.
questionable.
Just going to go off Kruppeljan there. He was just lagging a little bit. So that's gone towards Privet, who will be the first man to set a valid lap time here then. But yeah, what a day. We might be seeing a familiar face in the virtual grandstand tonight. I did just tell them, I've been chatting to them all afternoon. And I did just tell them that I've got to shoot because we're going live on SimPlay Motorsport. So keep your eyes out if you see a Landon Batson in the chat this afternoon. As here comes Privet towards the line. Rob Smith goes up into second place. The BMW of Malarex then moves up. The Bentley of Stapley, it's not going to be a great lap time for him. He goes up the order.
Kruppeljan by a second.
Yeah, huge margin out there in this race. In this qualifying
Where's
session so far.
Simcoe?
Coming out the final, coming out of Melbourne hairpin now, he's approaching Goddard's. Tracks. Oh, interestingly, the tracks it did say wet when we came into this session. It's only damp now, so that's interesting.
Ooh, Simcoe half a second quicker than that of Kruppeljan.
Yeah. So if these cars that are out on circuit at the moment are clearing that standing water, then potentially, with that rain getting worse in the next 10 minutes, or heavier in the next 10 minutes, is this going to cause a bit of chaos for the silver drivers? Could we see a real jumbled up grid here tonight?
I think it'll be close. There are still some very, very rapid silver drivers. That of, I know Richie, if Bettison and Jonathan can get those Lexuses, I just every time. The Toyota Camrys, if they can get them absolutely hooked up, Stardog and the Ford Mustang, which is, again, a decent car in the wet, it just is a little poor on its traction control. And I see DeBlock is in here, and again, we know that DeBlock is an absolute missile in the McLaren.
Here comes
primarily in qualifying trim.
In qualifying trim, indeed. Stapley goes up into third place. What can Neil Broom do? 1.4 off of the time at the moment. Moves up into fourth place. Malarex next towards the line. Doosan just behind him. I don't think he's on a valid lap. Malarex stays in seventh place. The 86 will be next to the line. That is out of Bardi. Down in the red and white and black Lamborghini. Coming towards the line he goes now. Moves up the order. Mark Tucker comes to the line. He stays where he is in P5. Simcoe to the line. Goes to 9/10 of a second now, so extends that even more. Here comes Kachasik in his BMW towards the line. Stays down in P6. And have we seen the best of the lap times here in this bronze qualifying session? Because if it is getting wetter out there, then we're not going to see that many improvements. Williams and Duffinand yet to get a valid lap time on the board. And Petrovic is in the pits with a qualifying ban. So he is in the pits with that qualifying ban. He will not take part in qualifying today. So we'll be starting from the back of the grid. Believe there is a couple of qualifying bans. I'm just going to double check to see who we're actually looking at for them. As Paul Williams moves up the order, licence penalties. Yeah, we've got... who's that one? So we've got Petrovic and Cherry Moore, both on qualifying bans. Next to line, Privet, once again, 3 seconds off of the pole time at the moment as Paul Williams chucked himself up into P3. Good qualifying session that from Paul Williams there. And what will we see now from that of Privet moves up the order. Royden Stapley moves up into second place. Rob Smith coming down towards the line. Does he improve? No, stays in 10th. Neil Broom stays where he is. Malarex down in 9th. 2.3 off of the lap time at the moment. Comes towards the line now. Stays 2.3 off of the lap time. Bardi will be next on a lap before Simcoe, but Stapley has got just within half a second at the moment.
Yeah, really, really good qualifying from Stapley. If I remember, this is the highest I've seen him up the order this qualifying season.
I believe so, yeah.
Or this season. So. Usually it's Simcoe, Crupplejan, 2 peas in a pod, and then everyone else.
Well, Simcoe's gone 7 tenths quicker than Stapley. Track's still damp at the moment. And this is what the view on side Paul Williams looks of that circuit. You can see very wet circuit out there at the moment. Not as wet as it possibly is going to get with the looks of that rain. And Paul Williams now coming in towards Goddard's for the final time this lap. He will get at least 1, if not 2 more runs here in qualifying as they come down the start-finish straight. Moves into 3rd place, 3 tenths off the pole. So heck of a lap that from Paul Williams there.
Yeah, so I don't think we've seen much of him, but still, that's a really, really good lap to almost bring the fight to that of Simcoe. But Crupplejan, 8 tenths down in the same machinery as Simcoe.
Crazy, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Stapley's on an invalid lap, so here comes that of Rob Smith, moves up to 6th. Here comes Neil Broom. Keep your eyes on Duffinand. Does Duffinand get a lap time in? No, he does not this time around. Next car on a valid lap is just ahead of that of Simcoe, which is Bardi. Surprised Simcoe's that close to Bardi, because that wouldn't... it's not where I'd want to be in a qualifying session when you've only got 1 lap left to put in. As here comes Bardi towards the line. Does he improve? 3.9 off. No, he does not. Here comes Crupplejan then. Any improvement for Crupplejan? Yes, moves up into 2nd place. 2 tenths off the back of that of Simcoe.
That is the lap that he needed.
Oh, massively so. Paul Williams has just had a off through the Fogarty S's, and I believe that is going to be his session done. Who's a 338? Kacharsik needs to get a move on with this. 37 seconds to get through the 2 hairpins in the chicane to get another lap time in. And we'll see if you can get one. Proca GT, good evening. I enjoy listening to your commentators, but I can't hear the cars that are music to my ears. Thank you very much. I forgot to unmute that one, so there you go. That should hopefully be a little better for you now as well. So there you go in that one. And hopefully you can hear the cars in this one. Apologies for that to start with. Cherry Moore says, this is going to be an upside-down night, results-wise, if the weather holds up for the race. Indeed it is, as Kaczorski did cross the line. No, he didn't. So he's bailed. That's him done. So the 888, Neil Broom, will be the first man to the line. Duffinand hasn't got a lap time on the board yet. Neil Broom goes 6th. Duffinand does get a lap time in and ends up in P5. Who is the 46? That is Malarex. 2.5 seconds off of the back as the silver drivers flood out of the pit lane. Malarex moves up into P number 8. The 56 of Simcoe will not get that final lap in. He's invalidated his time. Here comes Crupplejan then. Only Crupplejan and the 86 of Bardi left on a valid lap. And what can Crupplejan do? Is he about to take pole position? No, but goes within half a tenth of pole as Bardi rounds the final corner and will pull that one into the pit lane. Bettison has already had a spin, and the number 32 of Richie Michel is the car we now have to keep our eyes on and see what he can do in this race, in this qualifying session. Of Mirko Richie, sorry.
I don't think you could get Ramsey and I's name confused. So, I mean,
Gordon and Beefy, innit?
I feel like it was bound to happen. you would call brother the opposite name.
Well, the first season we joined, before we used to change the names on the entry list, it was PlayStation and Xbox names. Both names had M. Ritchie. So it was a real difficult time to see. And then somebody alluded us to the fact that you could change the names on the entry list, and we started to do it. But yeah, we had two M. Ritchies on the grid at the time. And Richie Michelle said he was going to use Richie Michelle, so that and it was different to his brother. Well, Mirko starts his first flying lap here at this damp, wet Donington Park. Let's see what's going to happen. Through Hollywood he goes, down in towards the Craner Curves. Let's ride on board with Mirko Ritchie. Through the Craner Curves he goes, braking now down in towards the Old Hairpin. You want to carry as much speed through here as you possibly can. As you come through Old Hairpin, you come in towards Starkey's Bridge. Cut a bit of that inside curb, run it out to the outside, into the Schwantz curve. You want to just glance the curb, brake as straight as you can before McLean's. Almost a later apex you want here at McLean's. Run it out wide, not too much curb though in the wet due to it being greasy. Climbing uphill towards Coppice Corner. Real hurry up and wait corner here at Coppice, especially in the wet to get the power down. You see Richie there just having a little slide as he applied the power. Down the SimPlay straight we go. For Mirko Ritchie on his first flying lap here in this qualifying session, coming down in towards the Fogarty S's. There you go for the first time, using as much curb as you can. The place is probably going to be the easiest to take the track limits. Down this little stretch here towards the Melbourne hairpin, towards where all the Formula EU factories used to be located in the background. In the foreground there, sorry, as through Melbourne hairpin goes Mirko Ritchie up towards Goddard. He comes for the final time. You come past the little VIP area, right on the end of the hairpin, and then you'll come past the grandstand, and there, the tallest part of the pit lane building, that's the commentary box that I normally stand in, as he comes towards the line and shoots up the order, and it is good enough for P1 at the start. And this now is where, unlike previous weeks, Wellington, where we see the drivers in silver maybe just take 2 or 3 laps to get their best lap times in the wet, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, it's kind of a make or break. So Richie goes to the top of the board, and Johnson 7/10 off in 5th, and kind of looks like a checkerboard. You have Coates down in 9th, Gerbino in 11th, Girage down in 15th, and then believe that's all the silver drivers to have put in a lap. Bettison in 10th. But yeah, just kind of checkerboarding a little bit. So not as, I guess, spread out as we would see in a normal qualifying session, but still quite a bit spread out. And as Millington goes up to 4th, half a second out.
Millington's good at Donington, really good at Donington, loves this place. He always seems to go well here, does Steve Millington. As we'll see the full leaderboard in just a few moments' time. We're just getting the cameras so we can see the drivers coming across the line on their laps. A lot of silver drivers out there today, so even though the rain's getting heavier, it's still allowing the track to stay damp and not get wet at the moment.
Yeah, I think that more drivers the better. I don't know how many there are for Pro tomorrow, but I feel like that race will be exciting but kind of dull at the same time, just because there's not going to be as many drivers battling for all the positions.
It's like going from an AM race to a Pro race on a Tuesday night, isn't it? You know where I'm on about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last night. To the line then comes Coates. Does he find an improvement? Yes, he does. What about Gabino? Stays where he is. Wolski. Where is Wolski? Hasn't got a lap time on the board and still doesn't get a lap time on the board here at the moment for Wolski at the moment. Then, so down the order, Steve Millington, next man on a valid lap. He's got the 2 Mercedes-Benz ahead of him, that of Hunt and Greaves, who I also believe haven't got a lap time on the board yet. Yep, they both are still out there without a lap time. So we'll see if they pop up the order, but we're going to stay on Millington for now. We'll see if Hunt and Greaves do get that lap time in. And you really need a good amount of cars out there to keep this track as dry as possible. As Steve moves into 2nd place, 2/10 off the back of that of Mirko Ritchie. So Steve Millington giving it his absolute all at the moment. Here comes out of Popovic towards the line. Next couple are on invalid laps. We'll go down to the number 18. That then of Diego Flores. And we'll see what Flores can do in this qualifying session.
Yeah, I feel like Flores, so far this season has been kind of a hit or miss. He'll have a few good qualifying sessions and a few where he's quite a bit down the order. Where am I not seeing it? Oh, there he is. Down his 17th, 1.4 seconds out.
Coates coming round towards the line then. Gabino's up in 9th. He's just behind him to set his next qualifying lap. And we'll see what Gabino can do in just a few moments' time. But so far, so good if you are that of Coates. As towards the line goes Coates, moves up into P8. Gabino now moves up into 6th. Wolski, who hasn't got a lap time on the board, or where did Wolski just shoot up to? All the way up to P13. So he gets a lap time in now, and it's good enough for 13th place. Who is ahead? It's the 96. That is Sam Greaves, who is not on a valid lap at the moment. Hunt in the Mercedes, who is currently running in 10th place, will be next towards the line. So 0.8 of a second off of the pole time. Top 14 separated by just over a second here in this qualifying at the moment. Here comes Hunt towards the line. Has Steve Millington? Yes, he has, as Hunt moved up to second, but for a split second, because Steve Millington answers right back and is closing the gap to that of Mirko Ricci now.
Yeah, we have 2.5 minutes left, but this qualifying session is ramping up a lot as Johnson now goes to the top of the board, 0.3 clear of Ritchie, but Millington just slowly reeling in that of Ritchie's time, but he's going to have to do quite a bit of work in order to close in those extra 0.5 that he needs to take pole.
Well, Mirko Ricci is in the pit, so his qualifying session is done here. And will not improve any more from that. He probably could get out, but he'd only get one lap in. So that's a bit of a risk for Mirko Ricci to push that hard. Bearing in mind that if he gets caught up by drivers on a fast lap, he has to yield out the way to allow these drivers through. So let's see what happens then. Round the final corner goes Coates. He will get one, maybe even get 2 more laps in here, will Coates. Track still damp. Rain is going to be heavy rain in the next half an hour. So we'll see what happens there. Wow, Gabino up to second place. Mirko Ricci, by the way, has come out the pit lane.
Yeah, interesting strategy call, but I think he might go for just a 1-lap push. Probably has about 10 liters or so, just enough to get him around for the out lap and then the 1 push lap. But if I remember in ACC, you do have unlimited wet tires.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Steve Millington back up into second. So Hunt went above Steve, and Steve once again takes that place back 1/10.5, just under, to take pole position for Stephen Millington here in what has been a pretty average season for Steve. He'll be wanting to take pole. Dronelander and Argent, by the way, yet to get a lap time on the board. Here comes Kieran Argent in the wet, and still doesn't get a lap time on the board.
So yeah, I'm trying my hardest not to laugh, but you know what? Keep calm and move on.
Breathe. Dronelander gets a lap time in. Gary Clarble in the pits also.
Johnson extended his gap to Millington. Now 0.6 clear.
What a lap. What a lap that is. That is absolutely rapid from Michael Johnson there. Here comes Mirko Ricci then. He gets 1 flying lap in this one. Next car will be the number 19 of Gabino. Gabino will also get 1 more flying lap in here as well. Get to the checkered flag and move up the order. No, he
just
can't.
Looped it.
Shame for Steve. Is he in the pits?
Just caught the tail end of that. Yes, he did just return to the pits.
That's a shame for Steve Millington. Then here comes Keenan Stardog. 14 seconds off the pace at the moment. Scratch that. 3.2 seconds off the pace. But 25th for Keenan Stardog at the moment. That is not where we're used to seeing him qualify.
Yeah, well, usually it's up in the top 10, maybe top 13, but just really struggling in the wet.
Sam Greaves moves up to 11th, first man to finish qualifying. I can confirm Kieran Argent is on a valid lap. So here we go. Hold on to your hats, folks. Is it going to be an absolute blinder? Let's wait and see as he gets turned into Goddard's. He's on the grass, so no, it won't be. As he slides out the corner, bails to the pit, so Kieran's not going to settle lap time. Diego Flores now coming out the final corner. And down towards the start-finish line, he is going to go. And can he improve on his lap time here then? Let's wait to see. Note stays down in 19th. Nuke Waste, great to see him back on the channel. He's up in 6th. Good qualifying for him. Mirko Ricci then on his final lap. Coming in towards Goddard for the final time in qualifying. Gets a good exit. Powers down the start-finish straight, comes across towards the timing beam, moves up to second, and that is all it'll be for him. The 57 of Coates down in 12th. 1.6 seconds off the pole. Good chunk of time to make up. Can Coates get it? No, he can't. No improvement there. The 8:40 of Tyler de Block. Is he about to take pole position? Can he improve on his time? No, he can't. Just getting the feeling here that the surface is just getting a little too wet. And oh my days, in the background, as Tyler de Block had a spin, has put Coates on his rear as Stardog comes across the line and improves up to P19. Hello there to Matthias Class. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And Fury's granddad, what? No 360, he says. It was in practice in the dry. You missed it. So then, that is your grid order. We'll go through the grid order in a few moments' time. And we'll have a look and see what that will bring us, because I do believe we'll be heading to a quick break while the drivers get ready to start the race. We'll go for a quick short break and we'll be back in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Donington Park. Welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. The rain has stayed, and it is heavy rain. You can tell by the indication on the clouds there with the two dashed lines underneath the cloud indicating heavy rain. It will go to lighter rain, and will we end up seeing some dry patches later on in the race? So them early pit runners here today, Wellington, to get their first stop out the way early, might want to consider when they take their second set of pit stops. Either way, I just want to bring you this image of the Fox Tech League. There was the two cars, the orange, white and black of Tanner Kneebone's SimPlay racing car, and then the red, white and black, the crayon coloured livery. Did you empty that glass? Yeah, I wasn't finished with that. Yeah. Sorry, apologies, talked to my son. And then the red, white and black, the Lapped Legends car, but that was the SimPlay Motorsport sponsored car as well. So a nice picture there. In wet conditions, of course, at Canadian Tire Motorsport there. So great to see them two out on the circuit there. So a little picture from the Fox Tech days.
Blank, it's been such a while. But any of those cars with traction control 2 setting is definitely going to help them in the rain compared to something like the Lexus, the Mercedes, the Bentley that only have 1 level of traction control.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see what will happen here in this qualifying session. For a stage, thankfully we won't have any rain tomorrow. No, you say thankfully, but it's a shame that you won't have any rain tomorrow. Is I think where I'm looking at it, because I'd love to see the pros dancing around the circuit with a little bit of rain. Grid order then: Michael Johnson from Mirko, Richie, Steve Millington from Gabino, Hunt from Waste, Simcoe, Krupeljan, Popovic from Williams, Greaves, Coates, De Block from Wolski, Stapley from Doosan, Bettison from Stardog, Flores from Dronelander, Kaczarskik from Malarex, from Tucker, Malarex from Smith, Juarez from Privet, Bardi from Petrovic, Cherrymore from Argent, Clarbel from Neil Broom, who missed the start and will start from the pit lane. Wellington, who's your winner going to be?
You know what? I might put all of my eggs in Steve Millington's basket. He's got the inside line, but again, he's very, very strong around Donington. We saw him in qualifying. He's just, I guess, better suited for the rain.
Let's wait to see what happens as we hand it over. Drive-through penalty for Michael Johnson at the start. Green and go, and Michael Johnson gets the drive-through penalty. Good evening to Lee Weston in the chat. And the start has not gone the way the Lexus driver would have wanted. Steve runs a little deep. That could allow Gabino to come through. There's a wiggler in the background. That is Popovic, who is slow away. And a lot of stragglers. What has happened to the 74 of Dronelander, who's not got away well? And the 105 of Rob Smith, I believe, has also had a moment. There are a few cars off at turn number 1, but what has happened at the start of this race? It's been chaos.
Yeah, I just saw Dronelander get tapped around in the back, Cherry Moore way down the order. Rob Smith is off. Yes, Rob Smith almost into the wall, heading down the S's, but Richie got away clean. Again, that's all that he needs. He's got some very good race pace this season.
Steve Millington damage and down in 20 seconds. Your pick for the race winner is down into 22nd place. Not the start he would have wanted to this one at all here at Donington Park, unfortunately for him. So he's down a place. And who's that rolling backwards? It is the Ferrari of Krupeljan. The championship protagonist is off. Wolski's back up into 8th place already, looking to make a move on Sam Greaves here as Tyler De Block makes a big dive
on Krupeljan. Apologies, man.
No,
but
you're fine.
Yeah, this might have sealed the deal for Simcoe. It's probably close to a minute just worth of damage on the front of Krupeljan's car. Yeah, he's got lights flashing. So
yeah,
just unfortunate for him. Looked to have quite good pace this week, and just bad way for it to end for him.
Yeah, indeed. Simcoe's just got past Nuke Ways for P4 as well overall, so he's up to 4th at the moment. Mirko leads from Gabino, from Hunt. Simcoe ahead of Waste with Paul Williams up in 6th. Sam Greaves is 7th from Popovic. Then it's Tyler de Block in 9th, all over the back of Popovic. Popovic runs a little wide out the old hairpin. Here comes out of Tyler de Block, looking to go around the outside. That is Paul Williams, who's been off, who was running 2nd in bronze at the time. De Block goes through. Wolski will go through. 7-4-1 stop go for that of Keenan Stardog, who hasn't even been in the pits, I don't believe. In fact, he has been in the pits. It was for speeding in the pit lane. But Paul Williams here makes a mistake through Schwantz curve and is dropping down the order so much at the moment.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the timing tower to update, but I don't know if he lost out. No, he's still in 2nd in bronze. Stapley, Duffinand are duking it out, heading through the chicane, but Williams, even with a little mistake heading down the S's, still is in 2nd, although his job of trying to get up to Simcoe just got a lot harder.
Indeed, so let's see what Stapley can do in this race, as he is currently running 3rd. Can he get onto the back of Paul Williams as he comes through? Betterson is currently running in 14th, just behind that of Dewson and Stapley. So a few of the cars pretty close together. Hunt really close to the back of Gabino through turn 1. Can't do anything about it there, though. Who has been into the pits? So Stardog has been into the pits. Clarbel has been into the pits as well. Millington stayed out even with the damage and is up the order. That was Rob Smith off once again as he rejoins just behind that now of Gary Clarbel, so drops down into 32nd place here today. But we're already seeing a few battles happening out there. Tyler de Block, though, is on an absolute charge and an absolute mission.
Yeah, again, his race pace is extremely strong, and just from the couple of races that I've seen of him, but as long as he doesn't forget to fuel up the car, he should be okay. That's kind of been his thorn in his side, just underfueling the car, not even by a half a lap, but sometimes it's about 2-3 laps that he underfuels by.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Obviously, the different fuel loads are going to be key here as well tonight. Obviously, with the 2 pit stops coming drivers' way, it's going to be interesting to see what fuel loads they're all running. As further down the field, Paul Williams getting closer to the back of Wolski. Great start for Wolski, up to 9th place already in this race. We've got Richard Betton still sticking to the back here, but Juarez was having a look on the inside of Diego Flores there. He's got Millington and Petrovic for company. Millington, even though he's got that damage, the rain's kind of not really affecting him at all, is it? Because he's being able to keep with these guys who's making mistakes and just running a little slower.
Yeah, the rain is definitely going to help out the damage that Millington has, because it's already slowing him with the damage down, but the rain is going to slow everyone else down. So, kind of, there's like an additional bop, I guess you could say. Gonna even it out just a little bit more, but I think he's gonna wait for the first pit stop, then repair it, and then push before his second pit stop.
Well, let's see what he can do. Hunt, though, all over the back
of
Gabino.
Garage about Ken blocked it going through the old hairpin. Nice little Gymkhana. Oh, I see. Oh, I think Argent spun. I see it on the map.
Oh no, he's still going. He's still going. He was a bit closer to Tucker, so he may have just gone off the road, but he's still going at the moment in time as Paul Williams still getting closer to the back of Wolski. Wolski got no pace here in the rain at the moment, and Hunt was very close to the back of Gabino. And look at Simcoe trying to challenge for the overall podium here as well.
Yes, not really a surprise. We know how quick Simcoe has been over the season, so even if he isn't going to win, well, I mean, I feel like it's kind of sealed up now, but even had he not won the championship, I still feel like he would have gone up to silver anyways.
Yeah, I think you're right there. As Hunt here is looking on the back of Gabino, coming down the Craner curves. They go once more. Is this going to be for second place? He's not going to make the move at the moment. Craner curves difficult to overtake in the dry, never mind in the wet. But while these two are squabbling a little bit here, Wellington, they're allowing Mirko Ricci to pull away.
Yeah, but feel like Richie he'll get these big gaps, then have just a funky strategy plan, and that'll bring a couple people just a little bit closer to him, or even past him in some cases.
Further down the order, and Tyler DeBlock is all over the back of Sam Greaves. No, he's not, because he was ahead of Sam Greaves. Makes a mistake through McLean's, and Sam Greaves is going to get him back. Wolski right there as well. So what has happened to Popovic? He's got ahead. Oh, did Popovic and Tyler DeBlock have a coming together then? Because Popovic is also ahead of Greaves. DeBlock looking to come back. That is Paul Williams off once again.
Way off.
And that will give Royden, Stapley and Dewson the podium spots now in the bronze category. There's also the number 18, Diego Flores and Richard Bettison, well off at Coppice. They are, as they slowly rejoin to the circuits. So the two Lexis, the Lexus, whatever you want to call them, are both off. Kieran Argent's going to pick up one of them, not necessarily the pair of positions there for Kieran Argent in this race. Keenan Stoddard 2 laps down, well off the road as he gets out the way of Nuke Waste coming through the final corner. But so far, this race has had its fair shares of dramas, and Tyler DeBlock looking on the rear of Sam Greaves once again coming down towards turn 1.
Yeah, if those two of Greaves and DeBlock start fighting, that only invites the door for Wolski to get an extra 2 positions almost for free. And it does seem like he is way closer than he was maybe 2 laps.
Oh, DeBlock's off. That looks like a wheel issue to me.
Believe so. He said that his wheel acted up at the end of qualifying, so that's the only thing that I think of.
He went straight on there and was not turning to avoid the wall, even though he was going very, very slow. So that looks like a potential wheel issue once again for Tyler DeBlock. He's got back on the circuit, I do believe, and is now going. Will have minimal damage from that, but has dropped right down to 18th place. What a shame for him. Out front, though, Hunt, fastest man out there on the circuit. Dropped off the back of Gabino a little bit, and will want to start to catch onto the back of the Lamborghini and make the move. But this is what I love about some of the British circuits, Wellington, is it's so difficult to overtake at some of these tracks that even though Hunt can be the fastest driver, in these conditions, on this circuit, it's difficult to get through.
Well, I don't think anything's going to be as difficult to pass as St. Petersburg from last night. Yeah. Almost like America's version of Monaco. But yeah, the British tracks are extremely difficult to overtake at. Now, of course, that's when you're on 4 wheels. On 2 wheels, you can make that stick about anywhere.
Coates looking to get the up and under here on Wolski. Couldn't do it out of the Goddard hairpin. Down towards Redgate they come once more. This is lap number 6 they've started, and Coates just losing out to Wolski a little bit. Wolski doesn't have to see his outright pace here at Donington Park. He's gone deep at Redgate. Coates is going to capitalise. Dewson has got past Stapley, and can Dewson try and possibly find a way ahead of Wolski, who's slow coming down the Craner curves. Dewson looked like he backed out of that a little bit, and Wolski off then. So just showing that even the championship winner is struggling out there in these conditions.
Yeah, and I don't remember the BMW being a very, very strong car in the wet, at least on ACC. Oh, Stapley way wide, almost running the LMU wet line. But yeah, just a weird mistake from Wolski. And it's not like he was just a little bit wide in the grass. He was way, way off.
Yeah, and you've not really seen him make the mistakes this season, have you? He's been fantastic. The 840's going slow. That's Tyler DeBlock again coming up towards the Schwantz curve. So Tyler DeBlock, another issue for him off the circuit. He went. Kruppeljan has got past that of, oh no, he was 0.006 from Tyler DeBlock. So he's got Privet on the rear of him. Dronelander with a bit of rear damage as well. Cherry Moore is into the pits. We've not had a retiree at this moment in time. Everybody's still going out there. We're coming up to the first 50 minutes, and if you look, within the next 10 minutes, the rain is set to decrease. So this wet surface we've got out there at the moment might start to dry up a little bit more here with that lighter rain coming in. It's not quite yet showers or a bit of drizzle, but the rain's easing off, and you can see in half an hour that little minus line at the top of the rain cloud shows that it is easing off even more. So this rain, if it does go to dry, when these drivers pick to do their 2 pit stops here, Beef, it is going to be so interesting to see in terms of their strategies.
Yeah, and just if it does go dry, I don't know, it has to go through the stages of damp, greasy, as Neil Broom is in for the first of his stops. So maybe he's gonna fill up and then go until when it's dry, then only do a single pit stop just onto dries. But again, that's if it dries up completely.
I like that, though. With the 2 pit stop strategies here, you can almost get 1 pit stop right out the way and then look at it and go, I'm then going to just go longer and pit towards the very end and splash and dash, or pit when it gets the moment dries or the better tyre to be on, can't you? So it almost allows you to do that in this race. And the later it goes before it starts to dry is going to indicate that the rain might not come back, and if it does, it might still be bearable on them dry tyres.
Yeah, I think I don't think you could do the tire glitch anymore, where you could put dry tires and completely inflate them.
Oh, Bettison, sorry,
still
Wellington's
be able
got the
to
run outside of Diego Flores from the chicane, coming down to the inside now to block his stationary again. Some wheel issues seeming to be hampering him. He's left the lobby. He is done for the day. The wheel issues causing him too many problems. Richard Bettison has got Flores, who did the up and under. Outside line, though, for Flores in towards Goddard's. Here comes Richard Bettison, holds the inside line, makes his way through. Into the pits comes Millington now, and Richard Bettison moves up another place.
Really, really nice move by Bettison. Almost a block pass of sorts, as Neil Broom is still in the pits. He hasn't gone green yet. But it also doesn't look like he's...
It'll change to the number 1, not the number 2.
Oh, no, he was stopped. He wasn't exactly in a box. He was, like, almost at the pit exit.
Interesting. So I wonder if there's an issue there. Gabino runs wide out the chicane. This is not going to be the invitation that he wanted to give. That of Mike Hunt at the moment, as Hunt going up the inside into the Melbourne hairpin. Through he goes, runs a little deep. It's not the worst thing in the world, because he'll have that inside line then on his run towards Goddard. Hunt on the inside. Gabino backs out of it, and Hunt works his way up into second place. Now, can the fastest man on the circuit at the moment chase after that Mirko Ricci? Steve Millington goes a lap down, but is possibly repairing that damage that he's got to the car. So he does go a lap down. We'll see what he can do later on as this race progresses on. Paul Williams, by the way, on the rear of Stapley now, as Doosan's pulled away to get back onto the podium in bronze.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs, but again, also just has to keep it on the road and not go off onto the grass for a 4-leaf clover. I wish that was a movie reference, but it's not. I keep sliding them in. But, yeah, it definitely seems like Paul Williams has some really, really good pace today. And he'll find himself closing in on cars, and then we'll find him off on the grass. So, again, as long as he can keep it on the asphalt, he should be okay for a decent result.
Yep, completely agree. Let's see what Paul Williams is going to be capable of doing in this race, and we'll see what he can get out of this one then. So yeah, interesting time at the moment, and we'll see what this will bring for the rest of the race, as the rain starting to get a little lighter out there, as we can see on that map above. It's going to go from heavy rain to just light rain further forward. Millington's come out the pits ahead of Wolski, so he's a lap down to the top 8 at the moment. Wolski has been dropped a little bit by Coates, who's on the back of Sam Greaves himself now. So Coates, who looked good in the bronze earlier this season, got promoted silver, you know, was still running in good high up positions, as Johnson's had a yellow flag, so he's had a nightmare since his qualifying. But for Coates here, he's showing that next season, could he be a force to be reckoned with?
Rob Smith.
Category? Yes.
Just a second. I just saw Rob Smith off.
Oh, he is. Yeah, that's at Hollywood. Coming down through the crane of curves. Yeah, he's off. Broom has done both his pit stops now.
It's an interesting strategy call, because you can go about an hour in the dry. So maybe he thinks that since it's wet and he's in the Ferrari, which is already really, really good on fuel, he might be able to stretch it, but it'll be really, really close.
He might indeed. Prestige, no, that is the name that we was given for him. That's his name. So yeah, John, this is pro. What do you think? That's all I'm going to say on the weather for tomorrow. You're in the pro category. That says it all. Coates gaining on the back of Popovic a little bit here then, with Greaves gaining on Popovic, with Coates coming with him. Wolski just a bit further behind. Then this battle.
I just saw a yellow flag from Millington.
59, yeah, Millington's off again. Oh, Steve Millington, you've cursed him. Commentator's curse. You said he was going to win. That's on you, buddy.
See, when you ask me that tomorrow, I'm just gonna say I'm just here and hope that they all have fun. That's what I'm saying tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like a sports mom.
Dan Davis. Dan Davis. That's what you want to say. Dan Davis. Wolski attacking the back of Popovic now. The two BMWs.
Dan Davis,
coming
who?
down. Exactly. Ex-10-time champion has been nowadays. He gets the underneath out of Popovic, squeezes Popovic a little bit there. Popovic still has that inside line, doesn't anymore. Backs out of that from Nuke Waste, who comes across to defend the inside line, but Popovic will try and get the run. Send me back to Pro-Ams. I want a wet race. Look, John, we'd all love a wet race in every category, and sadly, it's only been LMU and this that have had the wet races. Out the pits comes Johnson. He's gone a lap down now. So Johnson out the pits. Stardog is worked his way through the field nicely due to the others pitting and having a few issues himself. He's back up into 25th place. So Stardog is going nice out there after early dramas for him. Tucker, though, gaining on the back of Petrovic. Kieran Argent trying to stick with him down his 17th position. But Hunt at the moment, even though he's got the fastest lap, has actually dropped to 6.6 behind Mirko Ricci and has still got Gabino within 9/10 of a second. But it's Simcoe who's 7/10 of a second off the back of that of Gabino. So Simcoe's on a real charge out there right now.
Yeah, again, I think it's just the Ferrari always has been quite a decent wet weather car, just down to the traction control and the fact that it's very, very easy to drive in the rain. From the little bit that I've driven it, as the 23 is a yellow flag. Trying to find. Just now rejoining.
Tucker. Yeah, it's Mark Tucker. Here's the number 23 who's got the yellow flag then. So he's been off at. Trying to press on him. That's Coppis. He's been off. You'll know why the Fogarty S's are called the Fogarty S's, won't you? Surely.
Chris Fogarty.
Well done, you. Hey, you're good. You are, Beef.
I feel like you forgot that I've, raced around here like 3 times in another championship.
Kieran Argent,
most of the national circuit.
Just ran a little wide, nearly allowing Bettison to come through, and Argent almost chops the nose off of Bettison. Kruppeljan's been disconnected. You can get back in if possible, but Kruppeljan has been disconnected. And the championship he wanted to try and fight with Simcoe is not going the way he wanted it to.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate, but his internet was kind of teetering on the edge. So just very, very unfortunate for him and his title hopes. So now all that Simcoe really has to do is just cross the finish line at the end of the 90 minutes.
Yep, exactly. That's all he's got to do in this race. Will Kruppeljan come back in? That's the biggest question. And we'll see what's going to happen in this race as Wolski's gaining on the back
Bettison
of
coming
Coates.
back.
Oh, let's go down to it. What's happening?
Bettison came back at Argent, tried to look for a move. Oh, I can't remember the corner names.
McLean's. You're all right, McLean's. It is called Fogarty Prestige.
Charksick. Way off.
Yeah, that's a Coppis.
At McLean's.
No, Coppis.
Oh my god.
You're all right. We'll get there.
Let me just go and pull up the track map.
You pull up the track map. It's a good job I'm not doing this and forgetting the names. This is my own circuit. I should know these off by heart. Steve Millington cutting across the chicane there. Back further forward, though. Wolski's having a look to the outside of Coates in towards Redgate. Paul Williams into the pits from second place in the bronze category. So Williams got ahead of a few more there. Wolski just dropping a wheel onto the grass, looking to the outside of Coates. Can't find a way through in this race. And the light rain is here, and it is going to decrease over the next 10 minutes and the next 30 minutes. This rain is just getting lighter in this race at the moment here, Wellington. That's Rob Smith off at the exit of Old Hairpin. But with the rain getting lighter now, Wellington, this is going to be interesting to see if it does go to damp in this one. Kruppeljan saying that his ping is crazy. He will not re-enter as he doesn't want to hurt other drivers. No problem, Kruppeljan. Unlucky for you, buddy.
Alright, I've got the track map, but still, I feel like I should know this considering I've won a championship around British tracks. Well, we'll just keep it at that.
I've won 5 champions. I've won 5 championships here, so, you know, if we're speaking of championships. Wolski. Excuse me. Wolski looking up the inside of coach, couldn't do so. Popovic on the rear of these. Further back, Bettison still behind Argent. Argent's gained, though, on Petrovic. The BMWs look like they're struggling a little bit out there today. Not going to lie to you, the BMWs do not look like the best car out there.
Well, yeah, it's because some head of LFM liked to slap him with 31 kilos, which in my very, very honest and probably correct opinion, that's egregious. 31 kilos on a car that's already around here with no kilos added on.
Argent tried to get the run on Petrovic coming out of Melbourne Hairpin. Now looks like he's possibly coming under pressure from Richard Bettison behind. In fact, no, he's not. He's attacking right up the inside. Runs a little wide. Doesn't make contact with Petrovic, who's very slow through the corner. Now they tap a little bit. But Kieran Argent, who was almost a day late and $1 short, manages to somehow pull off a brilliant manoeuvre there and moves himself up to 14th.
Yeah, very, very good move. But now that allows Bettison just to close in a little bit to that of Kieran Argent. I think that Bettison just has to bite his time around Petrovic because I think we know what's going to happen, man, at some point.
Yeah, we do. The Argent 360 will make
So as long as he
return.
keeps about a 2-second, as long as he keeps around a 2-second gap where he can avoid the danger, he'll be okay.
Wolski's made a mistake. He's fallen behind Popovic and he's being attacked now by Duffinand, who goes to the inside. Wolski makes a late defensive
a little
maneuver.
bit of contact with Petrovic and Bettison heading down into the chicane. I saw Bettison almost perpendicular to the track.
Well, he's still going. He's flashing the lights at Petrovic. Back further to that Duffinand and Wolski battle. Wolski struggling out there massively at the moment, and he's got Duffinand, the bronze second place driver, all over the back of him. So the silver champion struggling here in this final one. Prestige Donington is only 35 miles from where I live. Get yourself down there. Get yourself down there, Prestige, and we'll, not this weekend, the weekend after. Get yourself down there. I'll be there doing the comms. Come and say hello. John, that's a good tier for tomorrow. I assume that's about the BMWs. That LFM bop sucks. Love Donington, says Prestige. There we go.
I only like the National, and I think you could back me up on that.
The National's brilliant, and that's what I'll be commentating on. I do believe it's the National, not the GP. I've done the GP the other week for the GT Cup, so it'll be good to do the National, because I do think it's a much better layout. I'm not a big fan of the 2 hairpins, but there we go. Petrovic still ahead of, in fact, no, Petrovic still ahead of Bettison. Further down the order, nothing really happening. Broom, the only driver to complete his mandatory pit stops here then. Further forward, Duffinand keeping Wolski really honest at the moment, and Gabino's got back within a second of that, of Hunt at the moment.
Now I'm looking at the front of Wolski's car. I think he does have a flapping bonnet, hood, flapping front end, so I feel like that he probably made a mistake or ran to the back of somebody, though I find that very unlikely. But that's probably what's slowing him down. So those 31 kilos probably feel like about 225. Oh, as he overshoots the final corner. And I think that, I pressed the wrong button. Duffinand and Wolski running side by side now.
Yeah, they are down in towards Redgate. Wolski on the inside line. Last time we saw him do this, he went a little deep and went off onto the gravel. Gets it nailed this time and stays back in front. Stays back ahead of Duffinand once more. Stapley's coming under pressure from Juarez here then, but back to the Duffinand and Wolski fight. Duffinand has cleverly backed out of it, coming down the Craner curves into the old hairpin. Through they go. Track has changed to damp now, Wellington. So 30 cars out there has made the track go damp. So in this one at the moment, if the rain keeps getting lighter, could we see the greasy conditions in which the dry tyres will maybe start to work a little better?
Well, we still have another 10 minutes or so until it updates, but I mean, you want changeable conditions. You got them, man.
We have indeed. It's going to bring for exciting racing. We get to see that strategy play out, don't we, in this 90-minute race as Stapley coming under pressure from Juarez now. Down the back, the SimPlay straight towards the Fogarty S's. And into the chicane he comes. Stapley runs a little deep, quicks up the gravel a little bit, and this is Juarez's opportunity to get the move on to the right-hand side. He's going to look up the inside line, down in towards the Melbourne hairpin, and has Juarez then got the move done? Yes, he has, through on the inside line. But has Stapley done enough to hold it around the outside for the Goddard tape in the final corner of the circuit? Believe Stapley might just be there. Later on the brakes goes the Bentley, and Stapley stays in front. Juarez tries to tuck underneath, but cannot get it done.
What a move by that of Stapley. Again, I come more from two wheels, so that was a perfectly executed block pass. Just park it on the apex and stomp on it.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a fantastic bit of racing so far out there in this one. As if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified. Final race tomorrow we'll be going live for. We'll get some fun events rolled out there for you all to see, especially potentially on the 26th of August, the 6-year anniversary, the 6th birthday of SimPlay Motorsport coming your way. And let's see what will happen in this race. Hunter's gapped Cabino once again to 1.4, but he's 7.6 behind Mirko Ricci. Is Mirko about to end the season off with a bang here?
Well, again, we still have another hour and 2 minutes. Well, hour, 1 minute 50. But we'll find out. I think he's kind of learned his strategy now. We saw Silverstone and a couple other races where pitted early and got caught out in the traffic. But I think if he were to pit around, like in the next maybe 5-10 minutes, he'll come out with not a lot of traffic. Oh, as Rob Smith is a yellow flag, and he's around at the chicane.
Yeah, on the exit. Rob Smith struggling out there in the Nissan, flicks it back around, and away he will go. Down to the 30 cars, though. The rain still decreasing in this one. Wolski has now lost out to Duffinand. So Duffinand has got ahead of the silver champion. And Wolski is, just as Prestige says, Wolski's working his way back up. He's lost out another place. Stapley started to be caught once more by Juarez. Stapley wide and onto the grass on the exit of Old Hairpin. And this is going to be an interesting one to see what Juarez can do.
And while Jirage and Stapley are fighting, that's allowing Malarex to slowly reel them in. So this could be a nice three-way fight and also a silver class sandwich. Oh, as Stapley runs wide, Jirage goes up the inside. Oh, that's Duffinand around.
Where's Duffinand? So Duffinand's gone around. Where's that? That's at Coppice. So Duffinand has had his own moment here and has dropped the car and has spun himself around. So Duffinand at the moment is not sat in the best of positions in this race. He's lost out to Stapley, who's gone side by side with Juarez. Juarez has got ahead of Stapley down in towards the hairpin corner. Stapley trying to hold this strong around the outside line. Can't do so, though. Has he still got a gap on that inside to possibly take another position here in this race? Up the inside go. He looked to go, but Juarez closed the door. Simcoe into the pits.
Yeah, that was coming out of Coppice. Draws held it nice and tight and managed to get past Stapley. But again, now Malarex is just about on the rear of Stapley. So if he can get just like 1 or 2 more tenths a lap, he could be right there with Stapley. And this is now a battle for, well, Simcoe is going to come out once they pass. So this is a battle for the 2 other steps of the bronze podium.
Yeah, indeed it is. So this is going to be interesting to see what will happen as this race does develop on. Like we said, that rain's still decreasing. But I quite like the fact that Simcoe's made 1 stop already here, Beef, because what it's done is Argent in front is actually on the back of Coates now. Coates has had a bit of damage somewhere. But what I like about this Gabino now in, what I like about it, Beef, is if it does go to greasy or to a point where slick tyres can be, effective, Simcoe's already done 1 of his stops, so he's got 1 out the way. he's only got to make one on the slick. So if the likes of Mirko Ricci and Hunt and Waste wait till the very end to do both their stops, Simcoe will be out there flying. So I do like this strategy from Simcoe and from Gabino at the moment, who's just come into the pit lane.
Yeah, and I think that some of the other drivers are going to check the weather and maybe consider that. But Paul Williams has already done his first stop. Gary Clarble, Stardog Johnson, Cherry Moore, Millington, Privet, and Rob Smith all have done their first stop. Now, the only one that I think is kind of out to dry, well, literally, Neil Broom, who's already done both of his stops.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, that one worries me. That one worries me a little bit because he's done both of his stops. And that one for me worries me. Mike Matthews saying that question is, will it dry by the end of the race? And that is the big question. That's what we don't yet know. But this light rain we do know is here to stay. 30 cars circulating this circuit. So if the rain does ease up a lot or stop, it will dry pretty quickly.
Yeah, it will. I'm still looking at... Oh, Malarix runs real wide while closing into that of Stapley. But it seems that Stapley has that Bentley absolutely planted in terms of his setup. And Simcoe not far out from them either. He's just now heading down into the Fogarty S's as Malarix and Stapley about halfway down the little straight towards the Melbourne hairpin.
Well, let's see what he can do in this race. As Argent getting closer to the back of Coates. Hunt now 11.5 seconds off the back. What's happening behind Argent? There's Bettison, Doosan and Simcoe. Doosan looking to make a move on Richard Bettison. Couldn't do so there, though. Kieran Argent, by the way, we kind of giggled at his qualifying a little bit. He's driven quite well in this race to get it back up into P12.
Well, I mean, Simcoe's behind him. Ooh, dives down the inside.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 180.
Little opportunistic there from Argent. He's lost out to Bettison. He's lost out to Doosan. He's going to lose out to Simcoe. He's going to go right around the outside at the top of Hollywood on him. And yeah, Kieran Argent just a day late and $1 short in that one, and he's just dropped down the order a little bit, sadly for him. So for Kieran Argent, not what he'd have wanted to do there, but you have to say it was his own mistake.
Yeah, it was just really, really late. Oh, got a little bit onto the grass, but yeah, still a well-driven race from Kieran Argent. Not battling for podiums as he was in the past, or what he claimed that he should end up on the race, but it's still a really, really well-driven race from him so far.
That's wild from you. That's wild. He'll love you for that in the chat later on. Still, let's see what's going to happen as this race does develop. Bettison's now gained on Coates. He's took Doosan with him, who's took Simcoe with him, and Argent's not a million miles away off of the back of them. Cherry Moore in for his final stop. Dronelander is in, but he's now got 4 laps down, so I feel like that might be Dronelander, who has retired from this race potentially. We'll wait and see. Either way, we'll keep an eye on what's happening. But Mirko Ricci may not have the fastest lap out there, but is for sure the fastest man out there at the moment, because he is just pulling away from Hunt lap after lap at the moment. And interesting point to notice, the track can't be drying too much because Hunt's not catching Ricci, but Ricci hasn't retaken that fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, but Ricci's still just extending the gap lap after lap. If I remember, when Hunt got in front of, or got up to second, it was about a 5, maybe 6 second gap, and now it's 12.9, 13 seconds. So, well, Ricci kind of mopping the floor.
Here's one for you. Hunt, who is Gabino pitted? Yes, he did. Hunt, who is a 32.4 for the fastest lap. Ricci did a 32.7. Hunt was lapping in the mid 33s, while Ricci was lapping in the high 32s. Ricci's just done a 33.2. Now, this could be that the wet tyres are just starting to overheat a little bit in these damper conditions, and they might need to go through the wetter parts of the circuit. So, interesting one to keep eyes on. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and look on somebody's Twitch stream and just check their tyres. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say how their tyres are, but I'm going to just go and have a quick look. And yes,
just
I
don't look
can.
At Kieran Argent's.
No, I'm not going.
Might be overheated.
I can tell you that the tyres of the driver I'm looking on are a little yellow.
59.
So, yeah. What we're looking at, Beef?
Oh, Kieran Argent's now pitted. John Lander's still in the pits.
Yeah, I think that's
so.
I think that one's a retirement for me. If you ask me, sitting in the pits, that's way too long. He's been in the pit lane now. Richie is a beast.
And I think that's Millington coming in. Yeah, that is Millington.
Here comes Duffinand. Duffinand's making a move on Coates, trying to get past. Can't get it done, though, through Starkey's Bridge. They stay. Prestige. Richie is a beast. Every time I watch Pro-Am, he's right up there, apart from Suzuka, where Stardog destroyed everyone. Yeah, his pace has been great. His pace has been great. Sometimes his racecraft has let him down a little bit, but his pace has been great. Argent in, Millington in, Privet in. So Millington and Privet in for their final stops of the race. Interesting to see. Good afternoon to Caitlin as well in the chat. Hope you're doing well. But interesting to see so many pit stops happening at this moment. And is this people just thinking, my tyres are starting to overheat, I need a fresh set of tyres? If that's the case, and they're putting on wets, they're just going to do the same thing.
Yeah, but as ACC is the tire pressure simulator, I feel like as long as you save the pressures, you could just knock them down a little bit and try to help that. But even if it does go dry, I think it's better just to get one pit stop in now, as Malarex is now in. And then, again, if it does go dry, just make the second pit stop, one for dries.
Yep, completely agree. I think it's going to be interesting to get that stop done. But I'd do a splash and dash now and then look to do that longer stop later on. San Racing, it is hard to find a league for ACC. I've been solely playing single player on it and ended up deleting it for now, as it was hard to get a good race. Well, if you're on the console and you fancy your hand at some ACC, come and join us on our Discord and get ready, because this is the end of the season, so you'll be right in time for the new season. If you're on PC, take a look at LMU, because our new LMU season will be starting up in a few weeks' time, as Betterson runs a little deep. Sorry, this is Flores we're watching, runs a little deep over that of Keenan Stardog. And, yeah, Nuke Waste. Hunter's made a mistake here, because Nuke Waste is within half a second of Hunt at the moment. So, all of a sudden, I'm not sure what has happened to Hunt. What's the gap between him and Mirko Ritchie? Wow. It's well over a sector, because Ritchie's gone through sector one and he's coming up towards Schwantz Curve and McLean. So for Hunt here, he's made some big mistakes somewhere.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much exit curb or grass. About the only thing I can really think of in the ring. Donington has some very, very slick curbs in the wet, or very, very aggressive, because people don't know how to code a motorcycle game. Thanks, Milestone. As Garage is now in, as well as Stapley in for their first stop.
We've got then that of San Racing. Not sure if you could see that Discord link. No, I couldn't see it either, Prestige. But tell you what, I'll do is let's copy one in for him, and let's hopefully see if he can get that one. There you go. There's the Discord link. Get involved for next season. Right then, Kieran Argent just behind these two is a lap down. Stardog looking to make a move, though, on that of Diego Flores. Down in towards the Melbourne hairpin. There you go. Keenan Stardog looking up the inside. Diego Flores had to go a little deep. The 666 is off. Who is the 666? That is...
that of Dewson.
Yeah, Dewson. So he's gone off out of... the old hairpin. The 105 is also off. I believe that's Rob Smith.
Block passes that of Stardog, and the Mercedes. Believe that is.
That's Hunt. That's Hunt in second place. So Stardog's let Hunt and Waste
Hunt
go through. Yeah. Stapley's just come out the pits, by the way. Stapley's now been jumped by that of Kieran Argent. So Argent's got the jump on Stapley there then. So Royd and Stapley's dropped down the order quite significantly. We've got Simcoe gaining on the back of Bettison here then, and Waste trying to stick to the rear. In fact, Argent, opportunistically, I've just noticed in the background, got past Stardog when he was letting through the leaders. Stardog must let Argent go, thinking he was also a race leader.
Okay.
What are you saying, okay?
Yeah, just say okay. Okay.
So
Thinking that Argent's a leader.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
I got it. I thought it was to the latest comment that
Maybe last season, yeah.
I can't believe
We love you, Kieran. We
we
love
do
you.
love Kieran. Remember, if you're all new, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the bell to be notified when we go live, as well as check out our fantastic sponsor and partner of SimPlay Motorsport in the description below, that of Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Head over to Facebook and search Designed Manchester. Krupujan in the chat. Simco is a legend. We had a good battles this season. I'm glad that he will be champion of the season. He definitely deserves it. It's been great to see you two competing all season long, as Stardog putting the pressure once again back onto Kieran Argent. Hunter's started to pull away from waste now. And who's the leader of the pit runners? Believe it is that of Gabino. So Gabino's the leader of the drivers that have pitted once. The leader of the drivers who have pitted twice is out of Privet, who's got Steve Millington trying to close in on him then in this one. And Dronelander, to me, feels like a definite retirement. He's been in the pits way too long. Now, Bettison gaining, though, on Coates, once again down in towards the Melbourne hairpin. And Coates is on the rear of Gabino as well. And they've nearly got Simcoe on the back. So almost four for seventh place here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that of Bettison is now in as soon as my keyboard elected to wake up.
Flores is... Argent's dropped Stardog here and has got Flores right in front of him. Argent is flying at the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the power of keeping it on the tarmac and not free spinning. I need to stop. I gotta continue with the Patty Lachey slander.
You are wild tonight. You've been unleashed tonight. Prestige just said, if anyone gets the reference, Argent is doomed. If you know, you know. He's not doomed. He dooms himself at times as he almost sends one into the rear of Diego Flores, and that's allowed Stardog, who gets a horrible run out the Melbourne loop there. So it looked like he was going to lose out a place to Stardog, but he doesn't in the end. But Kieran Argent, day late, dollar short, did well not to plough into the rear of Keenan Stardog. Stardog's round. Keeps it out the wall, but he's gone around. Here comes Stapley now to maybe get the position.
Stapley is past, but... Well, I guess you could say that Stardog just lost it, but very, very lucky to keep it out of the wall. But Kieran Argent's going to have to do all that hard work to close into floor. Well, I say that. He closed in a lot. Oh, boy. I was about to say he closed in a lot through the old hairpin, and that didn't last very long. But Flores still looking on the back of Gary Clarble. The only Porsche, I think, between... Yeah, only Porsche and Pro-Am.
Oh, here comes Bettison on Juarez. Looking to make a move. Melbourne hairpin gets the move done. Yep, through he goes. Juarez taps him round. Whoa. Juarez taps him round. Wolski and Petrovic into the pitch. Juarez has tapped Bettison around and will allow Bettison to keep the place and get on his way. Tony, was you watching there? If so, if you wasn't, you missed it. But Argent's got a bit of damage now, and he's just ended up cutting the chicane. So, yeah, he's made good progression. He's had good pace, but just little mistakes like that has cost Kieran Argent once again. I am inevitable. I should put my money on the lottery, Prestige says in the chat. Maybe you should, buddy. And look at what's coming in half an hour. Oh!
Clouds. Lovely.
It's going to dry. And who's made their pit stop? Steve Millington, Privet, Cherry Moore, Broom and Smith have all done their 2 stops. If you can see that, if the drivers can see that, they need to get their first stops out the way now, if you're asking me, Beef. Get your first stops done now. You've got to.
Yeah, Petrovic is now in. I see, well, Argent's probably in the pits to fix the damage. Barty still is yet to pit. And everyone in the top 7 yet to pit. Tucker, I believe that's it. Oh, Garbino. Richie jumped Garbino. Not by a lot. Because Richie just went through Redgate. Garbino's just on the exit.
Yeah, very good point. Now, well, hang on.
Maybe
now,
Garbino
Is that a case of the fact that Hunt obviously made the mistake and fell way behind Richie? No, Gabino wasn't 2 seconds behind Mirko Richie, so no, yeah, maybe Richie, he's never gone onto the dries now, has he?
I mean, he's still driving well. Let me go to the interior camera. It still has him on the wet setting. I'm gonna take a few. His TC is still for a wet track. ABS, yeah, can't see his brake bias.
Kieran Argent's done his second stop, by the way. So that is 2 stops done for Argent. Oh, the minute this track goes greasy, you want to be coming in to make your final stop of the day and getting the slick tyres on, in my opinion. That's just knock the pressures down a lot. Get them on to... keep the pressures as your dry pressures and just get them on. As long as your tyres hold their pressure on the greasy surface, with 29 cars circling, because Donington's clearly retired from this race, you will get them tyres up to... if they've got the pressure, but they're still light blue and haven't got the temperature, that they will still work 100%. So for me, I think that drivers need to get their first stops done in preparation of getting their second stops to change onto the slick tyres, because it will come.
Yeah, I think Richie just took a new set of wet tires, but maybe he missed his pit box, as it's now 4 seconds to Garbino.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he just took a new set of wet tires. He might try and just absolutely push this stint, and then I guess have a safety barrier, if you will.
My problem for Mirko
if he does make a mistake.
My problem for him here is he's going to gain, unless Popovic pits, he will gain on Popovic and potentially Sam Greaves, as Hunt is into the pits for his first stop. So my issue with this from Mirko is, if he does gain on Popovic and Greaves, he's got to fight them to get through, because it is for position. Now, it will be down to Popovic and Greaves to decide whether they don't want to fight him for position because of the fact they've still got to pit. But if they do hold...
Garbino sails off. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, right.
He way wide in the Melbourne hairpin.
If they do hold Garbino up and fight him hard, that's going to put Garbino on... Richie on the back foot, isn't it? So we'll wait and see. If he's gone to the wets now, and that's why he's had a long pit stop, he needs to capitalise. Hunt came out the pits... And where did Hunt come out the pits? Ahead of Mirko Richie. So Mike Hunt, who was way behind Richie before the first stop, is your next race leader now. So Mirko Richie has got to get a move on with this. That then, was that Popovic off? No, it wasn't. It was a back marker. Hunt is right behind his teammate Greaves. So will Greaves allow Hunt to get through, knowing that Hunt has already made a pit stop?
A little bit of team orders. I think that Greaves might let Hunt go through, probably going down to the chicane, or Greaves is going to pit this lap.
Well, let's wait and see. No, he's allowed.
There
He's
go
doing
the team
what he
orders.
said. Team orders. Hunt ahead of Greaves. Now will Greaves, who's not really been in the running for this podium, be the sacrifice, if you will, and just do the work of holding Mirko Richie up to allow Hunt to pull that bit further clear. Richie's still not quite on the back of Popovic yet, just over a second, and they've got a back marker in front. But this for Hunt could have worked an absolute peach in this race. We are keeping our eyes on the weather and the track conditions, but at the minute, Hunt is in the lead. Somebody was taking the old pit lane entry. Popovic got out the way of Richie. He went to take the old pit lane entry at Donington, which is on the back straight, and realised that that's not the actual way into the pit lane there. He nearly hit a brick wall.
I thought the current pit lane has always been the same pit lane.
No.
I never knew that.
Yeah, if you look down the back straight, coming up towards the Melbourne hairpin, there is a pit entry there. Yeah, and it used to come round, so you do the hairpin in the pits, basically. Very off camber as well, by the way, and very tight. They haven't used that for a fair few years. But that used to be the old pit entry. And they stopped it from being the pit entry years ago. But Popovic into the pits, he nearly used that one there. So, yeah, interesting.
Nuke Waste still yet to hit, and well, he's got quite a gap to Hunt.
The interesting one for me is Tucker and Popovich in the pits. When will Sam Greaves pit? He's got two to make. Is he willing to sacrifice his race in order for the team to win one? And if that's the case, is he just going to hold Mirko up like mad?
I think he will. I think he's gonna serve as a pick to allow Hunt, who has a little bit more pace, still has the fastest lap of the race, and just allow Hunt to run away and create as big of a gap in clean air. They have quite some time to the 663 of Privet. So
Whoa!
again, this is just a chance.
Sorry, just noticed. You'll see it if you was on the stream. Mark Tucker come out of his pit box and has absolutely sent it flying into the pit wall there. He's now sideways on the pit lane. That was crazy. If you saw that in the background, watching the cars come down the start-finish straight, you'll know exactly what I mean. But for Mark Tucker there, that was crazy from him.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned who it was, I went ahead and looked and saw him nose first into one of the garages, or garage.
It's fine. You can use your American words. I love them, like the Nissan. Simcoe in. Simcoe is in for his final stop. Now, I think Simcoe has just possibly cost himself there. I really do. Because if he takes if he keeps the wet tyres on now, they're going to be overheating and losing too much grip. Duffinand goes deep. This could allow Michael Johnson to get back through. The number 63 has had an off. That is Privet down at the old hairpin. Awaits for everybody to come back on. Oh, no, he spun around. Wolski comes through and Privet just gets out the way in the nick of time there.
Now, Richie is on the back of Greaves. And
Argent's in a wall.
another thing that bites Richie is just how aggressive he is. That's why he has had a couple of tickets put in against him this season. But I think as long as Greaves, a huge hold up. Richie almost runs into the back of Greaves.
Yeah. You're going to start to see some British touring car driving, I think, here. Greaves is going to park it on the apex. An absolute peach. And he's not going to allow Mirko Richie to get through at any moment because he knows Richie's got pace today. He knows Richie looks super fast. And Sam Greaves is going to want to help his teammate out as much as he can. Richie's only 3 seconds behind that of Hunt in this race at the moment. Flores in for his second stop. Again, I think it's way too early. Paul Williams, great to see him back. He's leading the bronze race net at the moment because Simcoe has done his 2 stops. There is 2 yellow flags. Richie's going to try and take an incredibly tight line into Coppice. Breaks super early. Greaves goes deep. Greaves is off. Richie's through. He couldn't do it for long enough. Richie gets the move done.
A very, very easy overtake for Richie, but now he has his eyes already set on Hunt, who's just now going through the chicane. Oh, Richie's almost there already as Rob Smith allows Richie through. So Greaves absolutely needs to get the hurry up right now.
Does indeed. Well, I'm calling it. John Lander is retired from this race. If he comes back out on the circuit, he has not completed significant the 75% race distance. So therefore, I'm putting that one down as a retirement. So 29 cars are circling this circuit at the moment in a crazy race, which is about to dry within the next 20 or so minutes. Keep your eyes on that weather forecast to change up top to the clouds coming in around that 10-minute mark. And when they do, those drivers who've still got 1 stop left to make is going to be brilliant. By the way, since Richie passed Greaves went straight into the pit lane to get that stop done.
Yeah, that's about the best call. I think Barty almost turned directly into the path of Richie while trying to rejoin.
So a scary moment there. Barty's now span on the grass and is into the wall. Still got 1 stop to make. And where's the fight we was just looking at? Gabino gaining on Coates, but that looks like it's been put to bed a little bit. We've got Johnson trying to gain on Deuce, and they've both got past Gary Clarbel then on the exit of Coppice. So Johnson at the minute cuts the chicane a little bit there. But at the moment, Hunt is your net race leader, 3 seconds ahead of Mirko Ricci. Ricci's got a bit of traffic to negotiate now. And we'll see what Mirko Ricci can do in this session as they go along.
Oh, Bettison's in for the second of his stops.
It's early.
So I'm starting to think that some drivers haven't seen the current weather conditions or what it's going to go to in 30 minutes.
The only thing I can think of, Beef, is that the tyres have just overheated that much that the grip has just gone. With it being damp, with it obviously drying lap after lap a little bit more. It's the only thing I can think of, because why they're pitting this early, I do not know. Prestige has just said that Coates and Waste both haven't pitted. He's right. They both haven't done their stops yet. I'd be getting in sooner rather than later if I was them.
Yeah. I mean, bold strategy. We'll see how it plays out. Gosh, really need to stop. Movie liners.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, Nuke Waste and Coates still holding it out. Williams now in for his second stop.
That, again, that surprises me from Paul Williams. Yeah. Well, the drivers all know what they're doing, and the drivers all know what to do as well. Oh, Tony, are you still in the chat? I've just seen something that's quite interesting. It's just popped up on my phone. I'll tell you if you're in the chat. If not, I'll tell you at the end when we come back and speak to you. But very interesting for Paul Williams, who's currently your net leader in that bronze category. Simcoe has now taken that lead back.
Ooh, Malarek's in for the second stop.
Yeah, right. It's got to be that drivers just either haven't seen that dry spot coming or their tyres are done.
I know it's... Ooh, Popovich just went past that of Waste. So maybe Waste tires are just done.
Right, so... I've just tuned in. Right, so I'm looking at somebody's stream now. The racing line looks a lot drier. Now, it still says damp. Let's go on board with Nuke Waste a moment. Let's go on board. This is on board the bonnet cam. Now, look at the racing line. Not a lot of spray coming from the car in front. It looks a lot drier than it does offline, and it doesn't look too bad. Now, the person's stream I'm looking at, oh, his waste has gone very deep at the final the Melbourne hairpin there. The stream I'm looking at, the guy's on wet tyres, the driver. He's just come out of the pits, and they're already starting to go yellow. Now, it isn't dry tyre circuit conditions at the moment, but as you can see, look at some of the cars looking for the wet patches on the circuit. But these wet tyres are just overheating, so a driver's feeling the need to pit because of the fact the wet tyres are going off. Richie is on the rear of Hunt now.
I don't know. It's still just one of those things. I feel like on LMU, that wouldn't really happen. You either dries, wets, there's no really pitting, or you'll just suck it up in whatever condition it is.
See, because I wouldn't have pitted till the circuit goes greasy. And then I'd have moved on to the dry tyres. Hunt is slow out of turn one, fends the inside line, coming down towards the Craner curves. Hunt still fending off that of Mirko Ricci. The 105 of Rob Smith has had another off up on the exit of Coppice. Hunt stays ahead of Mirko Ricci for the time being, runs very wide at the old hairpin. Hunt loses out to Ricci. So just pushing maybe a little bit too hard, has lost out to Mirko Ricci there. Here's a question for you then, Beef. If you're someone like Hunt with the pace Richie's got, do you gamble the dry tyres if the wets are overheating this much at the moment?
Well, just looking at the clock again, I don't know when it'll actually update, but I might stay out like 1, maybe 2 extra laps. But, as Arden cuts the chicane, just looking at Richie, yeah, I would see what the weather says once it updates again, as Nuke Waste is in.
Because look on the back.
And then
of,
maybe
look,
just.
Sorry, Beef. I've just gone on board Argent. Look at the back of Richie's car. You can't quite see him as much now. I'm trying to find someone that's pretty close to another car. Here we go. Clarble's within 9/10 of Petrovich. There's no spray on that racing line from the car in front. It's only when they go through the slower corners or offline a little bit that spray starts to kick up. Now, don't forget, the reason the circuit is classed as damp is it's taken in the entire circuit, width to width, for the whole entirety around the circuit. So for me, is that racing line dry enough to possibly put the slicks on? Gary Clarble's coming into the pit lane to do his final stop. Is it worth somebody taking that gamble? Hunt is into the pits. Oh, okay. Gamble being taken, I think, at the moment. Gamble, I think, is being taken. I've just looked to one of the driver's streams from one of the two that's in the pit lane. And there is a gamble being taken here. Will this pay off? Will this pay off? I've just messaged you who, Wellington. This is interesting. This is interesting. Simcoe needs it to stay wet. He will be champion because there is no Kruppeljan here. But Simcoe does need it to stay wet because he's already done his 2 stops. I'm intrigued now, Wellington, to see what happens in this race.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that anybody in the virtual grandstands could kind of put 2 and 2 together as to who you're talking about.
Yep.
And who's just taking a gamble. But, again, I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not. Nothing to lose. Can't win the championship, can't win the constructors, but you could win the final race of the season. So we'll keep our eyes on the lap times of Hunt, who I can tell you is on the slick tyre. I'm wondering then if he's had conversation in the chat and been like, look, my wets are too worn already. The 46 has just been off the road. That was Malarex. So Stardog's got an extra place there.
I'm looking at the onboard of Hunt, and there's not even a lot of rain falling onto the windscreen.
The rain looks worse on the spectator camera, I find. I've just been onto his stream, and it didn't look like it was raining too hard. The rain looks like he looks like he's got grip out there. He's just come through 2 of the slowest corners. Little wiggle on the exit of Goddard's, but he looks okay. He looks okay out there.
I'm looking at his traction control and that sort of thing.
Oh, we've lost another driver. We're down to 28 on the circuit. So who is that who has just retired? I'm
not seeing... Oh, no. No, I see Privet.
Paul Williams, Petrovich, Paul Williams, Doosan, Johnson, Stapley, Simcoe, Popovich, Hunt, Juarez, Wolski, Greaves, Gabino, Coates.
No, we're now.
Newquist. Is it Newquist? No, not Newquist.
I don't think so. Gerbino is in the pits. I don't know if that's for his stop. No, I don't think it's
somebody's just got back in, so it's either Petrovich or it's Gabino. It's one of the two.
I think it's Gerbino because his wipers aren't going.
Ah, what a shame for Gabino then. So he's obviously had a disconnection and has got himself back in. What a shame for Gabino in this one. Well, let's keep our eyes on the lap time here. By the way, Beef, I've just turned back onto Hunt Stream. His tyres are not that dark blue. Pressure's sitting around the 25 mark. I think he's pulled a blinder. Look, it's going to be dry within the next 10 minutes. So I think Hunt here, I think he has pulled an absolute masterclass. What was his lap time? 1:34.3 was his last lap time as he crossed the line. And Mirko Ricci did a 33.5. So it's not a million miles away. And the fact that he's out there on the slicks, he's only going to get drier and drier the more these cars are circling this circuit.
Yeah, and in 10 minutes, Coates still has to make his 2 stops.
Yep, he does indeed.
And I don't know how long the pit lane is here at Donington. But if Richie has to come down, put on dries, Nuke Waste has to come in, put on dries, I think Hunt probably made the best choice. And he already had the first pit stop out the way.
54 seconds for a change of tyres at Donington.
Right, 54, so Hunt is just now going to the chicane.
That is Kochik, who has just spun around Cherry Moore at the hairpin. He's been overtaken by Pettison. By Diego Flores. In comes Sam Greaves. So is this word from his teammate that it is dry enough? Is this the confirmation?
I think so. Kacharsik is also in. Arjun in. But Richie, well, now he's just going down into the chicane. Hunt is just now heading on to the front stretch. So I don't know how much time that is. It's about a minute.
33.4, Mike Hunt's last lap time. Richie, 32.8. So some 0.6 of a second difference, but Richie is on the wet tyre, we believe.
Huh. This race got a little spice.
So let's keep our eyes on when Mirko Ricci decides to spit. The 105 is off again. The pit lane is packed full of cars. Everybody is in to potentially put the slick tyres on. Coates is on the back of Nuke Waste now. Coates looking to try and get past that of Nuke Waste here. Hunter's got Juarez a lap down, for position. So Hunter's also on the back of Juarez now. Losing a bit of time this lap due to the fact that there is a lapped car in front. And how far is Juarez behind Wolski? In fact, how far is Hunt now behind Wolski? Because Hunt has dropped Juarez already. 5 seconds behind Wolski. Wolski to the leader is quite a significant gap. Boy, oh boy, this race has just turned on its head a little bit more. And you was right, it was Gabino, because look, he's dropped down to 22nd place after all of that and has got one more pit stop to do.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. Looked to have some really, really good pace for I would say a top 5, maybe a podium. Had the strategy worked out in his favor, but just very, very unfortunate for him to have the disconnect.
Wolski in, Hunt has got past, so Hunt moves up another place. Wolski in for his final stop of the day. So Wolski then into the pit lane now.
So, how far is Hunt? I have to calculate. So Coates is 0.8 off. We could probably round that up to about a second. Nuke Waste was about 24. That's 25. And yeah, it's gonna be close. But I think Richie just has a little bit more pace in the dry than Hunt does.
Well, let's take a look at the last lap, shall we? Because Richie 35.2, Hunt 33.9. Nuke Waste in for his final stop. Coates has got to pit twice. Mirko Ricci's coming up towards the Schwantz curve. So we'll see what the gaps are. But Hunt has just taken almost 1.5 seconds out of Ricci there, that last lap.
Yeah, I think that was the strategy, especially now that his dry tires are a little bit worn in. As compared to Richie's, who's, I mean, probably still in the tire blankets, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they probably are. They'll go colder in the pit lane, though. The pit lane will be a lot wetter than what the racing line will be. What is Richie waiting for? That's my question. 63 has got the yellow flag. That is Privet coming down the back straight.
Privet.
Let's see if Mirko Ricci pits this lap. There's no battles currently out there on the circuit at this moment in time. So let's see if Richie does decide to come into the box. We're going to drop down to the Deuce and Stardog fight because they're close to battling. And Richie is going to stay out once more. So this is interesting for me. We'll find out the gaps when we can as well. The 22, Kieran Argent, yellow flag out the final corner. So he must have had a little drama somewhere. And we'll see what will happen in this race. What an end to the season, though, Wellington. You couldn't have asked for a more dramatic finish to this season, could you?
Yeah, I think we got to throw just a little bit of a splash of rain tomorrow in Pro, just because, I mean, I feel like that's just the UK's weather, rain and then dry, or just raining.
Oh, well, Bettison is... Sorry, Stapley's coming under pressure from Gabino. That's a lap down. So Gabino's trying to unlap himself. Still has an extra pit stop to do in this race. And we'll see what he can do there about this. But I'm interested to see. So Coates is 30 seconds behind Richie. What is Hunt behind Coates? The 338 yellow flag. That is Kachasik in this race. Hunt to Coates, still unsure. Where is Mirko Richie? Melbourne hairpin now. He's got to surely come in soon. Last laps. What was the last lap times? Let's take a look once more. Mirko Richie, 33.6. Hunt, 33.6. They matched each other last lap. Hunt took 3 seconds out of Coates. Richie's going to keep going one more time. Time is running out for Hunt. But if Hunt can start to make inroads here, he's going to gain on Mirko Richie when Richie comes round to do his pit stop.
Oh, yeah. And again, like I said, his tires are already going to be little bit.
Oh, Doosan's wide. Sorry, Beef. That's allowed Stardog through at Coppice. Doosan a little wide to Stardog gets through on the run down towards the SimPlay straight. Flores lets Gabino unlap himself there then. So Gabino went through and unlapped himself. And we've still got 16 minutes of racing action coming your way here in this one tonight. Oh, what a night of racing this has been. Right, Coates is in for his first stop. Hunt is coming through the Melbourne hairpin. What was the last lap times? 33.1 from Mirko Richie. Hunt is yet to do that last lap. But Richie's on the SimPlay straight while Hunt is coming into the final corner. So Hunt's got a lot of the lap to do to gain on Mirko Richie. But the drier this surface gets, Wellington, the more it's going to work in the favour of Hunt here.
Yeah, and I've just now seen that Coates is in for the first. Yeah, the first of his stops. I feel like that's a little too late for that. But, I mean, he's held it quite well.
Sorry, Stardog was looking for a move down the Craner curves into the old hairpin on Royden Stapley. Couldn't do it. Stapley running third place in bronze at the moment. Paul Williams running up in second place in bronze. In seventh place. And might fancy his chance at maybe an extra position if Coates, because Coates has got to do his 2 stops. Simcoe could be on for an outright podium here because he's only a second off of Popovic. As here comes Stardog looking up the inside of Royden Stapley, who runs off onto the gravel at Coppice. Here comes Doosan to take the podium away from the Bentley, and Stapley off again. And Stardog and Doosan there both make their way through on the bronze driver. A flash of the lights. And who is that flashing? It is Hunt, who wants to find his way through.
Yeah, he's not... Well, I was about to say he's not terribly far out. Richie has quite a gap between the two of them, but easy as you like it. Hunt passes Stapley. He's got just a little bit of air between him and Doosan, but Hunt is in a lot of traffic right now. He has Doosan in front of him, then he has Stardog in front of him, the 18... little bit up the road, that's that of Diego Flores.
Yep.
And I don't know who is behind Flores,
Right.
that of Barty.
The rain has stopped, by the way, Wellington. Adam in the chat, not something I expected to see. How long has this race been so far? It's been a 90-minute race in total. Yellow flag, that is the 59 of Steve Millington. So you predicted he'd win the race. You've properly cursed him tonight. He'll thank you for that one. He's off again out of the old hairpin. But the track will now be drying. It's already gone to greasy. And Mirko Richie straight into the pit lane. So this is do or die. Mirko's came in at the right time in this race. How it has fallen to him there.
Yeah, it was... I mean, really can't get any better than that as soon as it clicks to dry, just to come out of, like, straight into the pit lane. But now this is... Hunt is still behind Doosan. Nope, Doosan lets him go heading into the chicane. So now it's, oh man, I forgot the word. Now it's, just time for Hunt to just go. Richie still in his box. I don't even think I have any more fingernails left to bite.
Right, Richie's still in his
gone
box.
green.
Richie's just gone green. Hunt is coming through the final corner. Hunter's got his tyres already in a nice looking window. Where is Mirko Richie? Hasn't exited the pit limiter yet. Pit limiter still on for Mirko Richie. Hunt is coming down the start-finish straight. Where is that Lamborghini who is waiting for all this traffic to come through? I think Hunt is in the lead. Hunt leads the race. He's gone on the dries early enough, and Hunt leads here at Donington Park with 13 minutes to go. Mike Hunt has played the strategy of a lifetime in this one.
Yeah, I saw Richie move a little bit in the pits. I don't know what that was about, but I saw him go green. But Hunt has about a corner between the two of them. But again, Richie's not going to have all that clean air, and Hunt is going to be battling in the traffic with Barty, Flores, and Stardog in front of him.
Well, this is now interesting. We've got...
Stardog just spun in front of Hunt. Hunt had to take avoiding action straight to the grass.
Oh, Richie's just had to avoid Stardog a little bit as well, and that's Barty off and Doosan off. So Stapley's back into third place in the Bronze Championship. It's all gone wrong at the end of this race for some of these drivers. Battles happening everywhere. Hunter's got Stapley right behind him at this moment in time.
Yeah, I just saw Stardog just saw him go around while I was on Hunt just to see if Hunt was gonna pull a gap to Richie, but yeah, it went from about 3 seconds down to 1.7.
Yeah, it
but
has.
good avoiding action by that of Hunt. So now it's time to...
And Popovic, here, side by side into the Schwantz curve. Juarez looking round the outside of Popovic in the Ferrari. BMW coming back. They both make a bit of contact. Juarez goes off. Adam saying, how does someone get into a series like this? I've just been doing public service. Are you on console? Are you Xbox or PlayStation? If so, the Discord link is further up in the chat. Join the Discord. If you are PC, we do run LMU on PC. If you'd like to get involved there, as well as subscribe to the channel and do all that good stuff. But 1.9 seconds separate the leader in this race. Damien Hibbs, it's getting tense. Hunt, defend, he says in the virtual grandstand. As here we go then into the last 10 minutes of the season, in which we could make dreams could be made for drivers, but pretenders can come crashing back down to reality.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Oh, well, yeah, now you have. From the greatest commentator besides Murray Walker to grace his planet.
And maybe Matt Bird.
Don't know who that is.
Just saying. He commentated MotoGP during the COVID era.
Motorbikes don't count.
Oh, whoa.
Different kind of commentary. Different kind of commentary beef.
They still got engines and rubber.
Yeah.
And they're still going 100 some miles an hour.
So you're saying I'm third on your list of favourite commentators. Crazy.
I'll send you some clippets of Matt Bird.
That's fine, because I put myself behind... I can't remember the guy. Used to do WEC. Does a lot of IMSA now as well. From Northern England.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I want to see if we can get a picture with him.
I consider him to be one of the greatest commentators as well. This is getting interesting, says Prestige. Indeed it is. Closest fight on the circuit is this Juarez and Popovic battle. Gaps are just appearing all over the place. Williams and Flores into the pits. Williams could lose out on that second place and has lost out to Petrovic on a podium in bronze. What a shame for Paul Williams. Just pitted at the wrong time. Adam, get involved. This is the last race of the season, so get in the Discord, follow the steps on your welcome message, and we'll get you in for next season for sure, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you on the circuit. Loving the commentary. Keep it up. Cheers, buddy. Tune in tomorrow night as well, 8 p.m. BST for the Pro Series. And Mirko Richie is within 0.8 of a second of your race leader. And these two have had a few ding-dongs in the Discord server, Wellington, this season. I have a feeling we could be in for a ding-dong end to this night. Stop-go penalty, Paul Williams speeding in the pits. Let battle commence, Wellington.
Yeah, of course, I we get something like this, and I can't remember what they say on medieval times. Let the games begin. You gotta take it to that place. It's phenomenal.
If their words that they've exchanged in Discord has been anything to go by, this could be spicy. This could be spicy. Let's see what happens here then. 2 new subscribers tonight. Thank you very much. We're over that 1,350 mark. So the next milestone is 1,400. Wellington will be getting his fingers out to doing hard work once again to get more subscribers in as the LMU season is about to start in a few weeks' time. By the way, I've got to quickly jump off of this because I've got to get into the cockpit of a car. I've got a team event to do with Matt Wright on LMU. He's currently in qualified. He's qualified P12 at the minute. Still 3 minutes left of that. I've got to jump into the car.
What team event are you guys doing?
The weekly Monza event. The 60-minute weekly Monza. He's starting the race. By the time I've done interviews here and done that, I've got to jump in the hot seat and do the final half an hour because you've got to do the fair share stuff, haven't you, with it? So next season will be starting around the beginning of October. We will do some fun events, some special events in the off-season to keep everybody interested, but it gives us a chance to just change any rules we need to tweak and have a look at formats and stuff. But yeah, honestly, do join us for next season. Should be an absolute cracker. As we go further forward, Paul Williams in. His night's just been ruined there. The podium's gone for him. But Hunt on the back of a BMW. I believe that is Kachasik, who gets right out the way of Hunt. Hunt not yet through, flashing the lights at Kachasik here. And Hunt may have just played that quite tactically. Kachasik, no, still hasn't let him through. I wondered if Kachasik was going to let him go into turn 1 and then hold that of... Gabin Richie through the first couple of corners. That's what Hunt's wanted.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But if Hunt could time it perfectly, he probably could get past Kacharsik heading down into the chicane, and that'll slow Richie down a lot. And I think that's what Hunt is going to try and do. No, Kacharsik lets them both through. Yeah. So, still a nail biter to the end.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. Richie all over the back of Hunt. Richie's got the fastest lap of the race. Mike Matthews, give yourself a bow on the weather for tonight. It's been beautiful to watch. Matt Wright, 16th place, 1.83 seconds off the pole time, by the way, as Richie gets very close to the back of Hunt. He's tapped him. He spins him around. Words are going to be exchanged tonight. Gabino, fastest lap of the race. Where is Nuke Waste? 22 seconds behind. Richie waited for Hunt to get back going. This could bring Nuke Waste back into contention here, as Hunt will not take kindly to that at all.
Oh, and goes way wide. It kind of looked like he was looking for the better run. Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm really blowing this. Gets a better run out of the final corner than Richie. Heading through Red Gate. Richie holds it just a little bit tighter, but still, Hunt is kind of keeping it towards the not, I guess, taking as much curb as Richie, staying just a little bit wider. And it just allows him to carry so much more speed. As yellow flag for that of Steve Millington.
You have really ruined his night tonight,
Steve. Steve, if you watch this back, I apologize.
Adam, do what Class says there about the SimGrid stuff. Obviously, it'll all be in the welcome message. You can do all that good stuff. And Prestige, thank you very much for saying that about the league, because I've worked very hard over 6 years to get this to where it is today. So thank you very much for the kind words. Wolski's on the back of Greaves, but I don't want to kind of go off this battle. What is that? That was Coates. And who else? The 338, Kacharczyk. Yeah, both off. They've both managed to avoid Richie. Just going to quickly... Greaves is also off. Greaves is off at turn 1. Millington's going to kill you. You've really ruined his night tonight. Here comes Mirko Richie. Defensive goes Hunt. Breaks hard into the hairpin. Hunt's gone deep. Hunt's gone very deep. Needs to hold it on the outside. Needs to have something on that inside line. Richie's already covered him off. Hunt's now going to look up one way. Is he going to think of sending it into the final corner? No, he does not. Richie takes the lead. Hunt has made a mistake. Can Hunt now make a move back? No. Richie's pulled a little bit of a gap. And is that the race win for Mirko Richie with 4 minutes left on the clock?
Whoa. Hunt just closes in a little bit on the brakes, but still another 3 minutes for Hunt to get back past that of Richie.
Let's see what's going to happen in this race then at the moment. This is absolutely critical in this race. No worries, Adam. You do that, buddy. It is in the chat just above. Or find us on Instagram. Message me on Instagram if you need to. Message SimPlay Motorsport on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll sort you out that way as well, buddy. But this race has turned into an absolute dramatic one. They've not got traffic for a while. The next car they will come to that would be Kieran Argent. We know he's capable of a spinner too, so he could be closer than we think. Who is in the pit lane? Gabino's still got to do a final stop. Bordy's in for his final stop. Oh my days. This is fantastic. Best Pro-Am race I've watched all season. It really has been. It really has been. My, oh my, this has been edge of your seat stuff all night, Wellington.
Yeah, you're going to have to put a vote in the Discord now for a race of the season. Best overtake, one of those things. Give them a little placard, or not a placard, a little... I'll come up with something on Canva.
Yeah, there we go. Richard Betton coming, under pressure from Popovic here. BMW just seems to have came alive a little bit because all of a sudden Wolski's within a tenth. In fact, now he's past Simcoe, so Wolski's back up into fourth place. So the wet weather is gone, and the BMW all of a sudden has sprung into action a little bit now.
Yeah, even though it has those 31 kilos, still seems like a decent car, but just, I guess Wolski got lucky to have won the championship a week early.
I'm sorry, I've just noticed
and
something.
now have to.
I know this isn't on this race. If Matt Wright is racing on them tyres that I'm seeing on screen at the minute, he's got wets on the rear. We're going to do nothing if he does that tyre strategy. Here comes Popovic, so looking up and underneath Richard Bettison.
May have worked.
Oh, no, it's sorted.
Park.
It's sorted. He's done it.
Okay.
Popovic to the outside of Richard Bettison now. Matt, if you're listening, well done. You're learning. Popovic can't find the move around the outside. Richie's pulled 1.2 seconds over Hunt, so he's pulled away now. Here comes out of Popovic down towards turn number one. Has a look up the inside of Bettison once again.
Ooh,
is this
Hunt wide again.
He's just overdriving.
I think that's Richie's win.
Yeah, he's overdriving the car now. We're going to get one more lap. And guess what? We're going to get some traffic to make this even more entertaining as well, because Kieran Argent and Bardi are the two cars in front. Argent's got damage, not for the first time tonight, on the front of his car. Leaders on the final lap. Will the traffic play a part in this final race, in this final lap of the season? Bardi's looking to make a move on Kieran Argent. Argent trying to stay out the way. He's now onto the grass. Brilliant, amazing. As long as he doesn't come back on in the front of Hunt, that'll be fantastic. He doesn't. I can see Hunt in the background. Bardi slow through the old hairpin. Just delays Mirko's run a little bit there. That's brought Hunt a little bit closer. What's happened in between Bettison and Popovic? Nothing for them two. They will still have one lap to go. But Mirko Ritchie, who's drove a great race so far today, and looks like he's going to take the race win. For a minute, we thought Hunt may have just done this race and taken it to perfection. But Mirko Ritchie has got 4 corners left to go at this Donington Park circuit, the home of SimPlay Motorsport. In what has been an absolutely outstanding race. Sorry, Beef.
I was about to say, if maybe there's a little bit more traffic in front of Ritchie, probably could have been different story. Because, again, we know how aggressive Ritchie is just as a driver. So maybe if there was more, or just more dense traffic, probably could have led to Hunt winning, or maybe Nuke Waste getting a lot closer.
It could have indeed. But Mirko Ritchie, for the final time this season, takes the checkered flag and wins at Donington. Hunt close in second. Nuke Waste is going to take a solid P3. Great drive from Hunt in this one. Ritchie will also get the fastest lap of the race. Hunt, second place. Nuke Waste is going to come home for a podium. Great drive for him. Wolski, the champion, is going to come home for P4. Coates has already finished down in 11th place. Gabino has finished down in 17th. Stardog has finished 19th, but has a penalty, so we'll work that one out at the end. Wolski, though, is about to come through to take the checkered flag. Stapley second in bronze. Petrovic third in bronze. Simcoe's about to win in bronze once again, but your champion Wolski of the silver wins And this man, Simcoe, is about to become your new bronze champion in the GT3s. He's about to take the race-winning bronze, 5th place overall for him. Well done to Simcoe. He is the new bronze champion. Massive congratulations. Bettison in 5th. At 6th holds off Popovic. Greaves in 8th. From then that of Juarez a little further down the order. Wellington, what a race that has been tonight.
Well, not only what a race, but what a season as well. And as we wait for a few other drivers to come across the line, I have an interesting stat for you, Matt.
Go on.
In 4 different Pro-Am seasons, 4 different Americans have won, and 4 different Americans have won a night race at Pro-Am.
Go on, give me the drivers.
Or in Pro-Am.
Go on, give me the drivers. Let's listen to this.
You have Langers back in Season 8, myself in Season 9, Tanner Nebo in Season 10, and Season 11, Stardog at Suzuka last 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. That's
so.
I tell you what, I don't know if you've jotted that down. That is absolutely brilliant. That is a statistic that I love. Well done on that one, Beef. Just talk us through the season. Highlight of the season for you. Best race this season. Who's your driver of the season been?
Driver of the season? You know what? I'm going to have to give it to Richard Bettison. Because we saw that... he might kill me for this. We saw that he drove the Aston Martin, and almost every single week we saw what his honest thoughts were of that. And he's hopped back into the Lexus and absolutely just a whole new driver. But I was saying, if I was to give like a silver medal to another driver of the season, I'd also say that of Michael Johnson. Just the pairing of them two, very, very strong. And both in the Lexus, I wouldn't be surprised if they win in it for next season, because they've been super, super strong and very, very consistent. Yeah,
they really have. They've been brilliant. It's been a great season, Wellington. Thank you for joining me in the comms. It's been an absolute pleasure this season. Really good to have you with us. So thank you for joining me for that one.
Yeah.
And the points are in. I can tell you the final points in the championships are as follows. Then your team's championship won by Greasy Bandits Racing. Black and Blue Racing of Johnson and Betton that you were just saying gets 2nd place. 4Q ended up 3rd. KSR 5th from Hulkanios. Vanguard Race Team from Team Merlot. ATC Maniac, SimPlay Racing, Team GBR. FRL Racing Team, BSH Spinners, ACC Venom Racing, Forever Forward Racing, Trotters Independent. In bronze, it is Simcoe who wins from that of Kruppeljan. Stapley in 3rd. Rob Smith holds on to 4th ahead of Sanchez, Petrovic, Privet, Malarex, Tucker, Broom, Kacharsik, Doosan, White, Bardi, Dog, Lee, Stanek, Williams and Hughes. And in silver, well, we already knew that Wolski was your champion last week, but Stardog claims 2nd, Greaves claims 3rd ahead of Mirko Ricci, Michael Johnson, Richard Bettison, Coates, Brian Craig, Cherry Moore, Gabino, Alcapara, Flores, Millington, Hunt, Popovic, De Block, Juarez, Cummins, Peckman, Taylor, Clarbel, Dronander, Argent, Sturrock, Murray, Gluhack, and then Nuke Waste. Just looking into the commentary box, nobody has joined us for an interview. Wellington, final thoughts on tonight?
I mean, I don't even think I have any. I think I've spilled them all, but yeah, just a fantastic season, and it was pretty cool to take the helm for a couple of races with Patty Leger. And you said that you hope that there was some rain for a pro. That probably would have made Patty retire just a little bit sooner. So I think that's the last Patty Leger slander, at least from the comms box and Pro-Am. Now Pro.
I can't wait for you to join me tomorrow, Wellington. But
Patty,
thank you all for watching.
I'm very,
here
very
in
sorry
the
for what may
Pro-Ams.
happen.
Please do like, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up button if you like what we see here, as well as checking out Design Manchester in the comments below. Head over to Facebook and search Design Manchester. They are our proud sponsor and partner, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Season 11 in the bags. Congratulations to Greasy Bandits Racing, Wolski, and to that of Simcoe for winning the silver and bronze championships. We've got tomorrow night to go where all 3 titles are still on the line. We hope to see you there in the chat. Hopefully Wellington will be joining me in the comms box for that one. But from me, Wellington, and the whole of the SimPlay Motorsport team, thank you for watching. We'll see you in Season 12 for Pro-Am. Goodbye.